This program is brought to you by Harvey Norman.
Rolling towards the boundary line and Harms almost makes ground. He tips it back to Sheldon. It's a goal!
Can he kick this one to make it a draw? Look at all those Collingwood players. He fires.
He's got it, I think.
He's missed it.
What a goal!
What
a finish!
On to Bradley. One bounce, 2, 3, 4. 40 metres out. Set sail for goal. Try that one on for goal of the day.
McGowan's had 5 bounces. Nearly get another one. Round he goes. In he goes to an open goal. Phil Bonassa. Stuffed by Mickey the Frog.
Ah yes, Carlton and Collingwood really stirs the blood, and this is the Millennium game, and this is the Carlton version 2000, even though we're still in 1999. Good evening and welcome to the MCG for this special one-off Millennium game between the traditional foes, Carlton and Collingwood. Of course, the Blues last year, or this year actually, 1999, made the grand final. The Pies were wooden spooners for only the second time in their lives, but they start afresh for the new season. This is the Ansett Cup for the year 2000, but we do start in the year 1999. So we hope wherever you're celebrating New Year's Eve, sit back, enjoy it, and watch the football. A lot of people are hungry for football, even though just yesterday this was a cricket ground, and Australia won a test match here. Remarkable. It's been transferred into a football ground, and of course when we talk footy, who else would be there but Dipper? Here he is.
Yeah, thanks very much, Drew, and nice to catch up with you too. As we know, Australia wrapped up the game against India right here at the MCG yesterday, and already they've ripped out the test pitch and laid out some magnificent new grass for the players tonight. The players have no problems about running over the surface because the joints are very, very good, so players should have no problems about tripping. And Drew, the old key test, mate, I found an old key. It looks like a door from your place, but as you can see on the outside of the new surface, rock hard, and also the new surface is very rock hard as well, so the players should expect a very fast track, Drew.
Thanks, Dipper. I like the key test as well. With me in commentary tonight, Ian Robertson, 3 times Carlton Premiership player. Bit unusual to be here on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, it's the 31st of December, but I think you could play this game just about anywhere in Victoria and probably in Australia, and you'll see some interest because Carlton and Collingwood have had a great rivalry over many, many years.
Yep. Opposite ends of the ladder in 99, but, well, Collingwood start afresh. Some trial rules for the Ansett Cup in the year 2000. And the first one, the advantage rule. Well, the umpire won't blow the whistle because often players used to stop. So he'll just signal to them, free kick, advantage, play on, but he won't blow the whistle. So we'll be watching for that. And then also officials interfering with play. Well, in the past we've seen runners and trainers sort of get in the way when a team is kicking out after a behind. Well, if they get into that defensive 50-metre zone this time, there will be a free kick to be taken from the back of the centre square. So it's quite a penalty against the team which infringes. Now, the umpires will actually throw the ball up around the ground. That number 4, around the ground they'll be throwing the ball in the air rather than bouncing it. And of course with the time on, well, time on will be added when the ball leaves the fingers. Now the big one for us here tonight is this one, number 5, in that a player isn't allowed, when he's not on his feet, to take possession of the ball. He must hit the ball clear. I think this comes from the international rules, the Irish test, but that was a round ball, Robert.
Well, just to clarify the game and keep it moving, because that's what Aussie rules is all about, a great action game, and that's what the viewers and the watchers here at the ground will want to see.
Some players in new colours. Michael Mansfield, former All-Australian. He came from the Cats to join the Blues in the off-season.
Look at the experience, 181 matches, and on top of that he's represented the state a few times and done it in grand style.
And Stephen O'Reilly, after a short time, couple of seasons with Geelong, then the Fremantle Dockers, and he could be played at either end like Silvani, full-back or full-forward.
He looks pretty fit, and word during the week on radio here in Melbourne was that he's number 3 in endurance on the Carlton list.
And for the Pies, Shane O'Brien comes down from the Brisbane Lions. Couple of seasons up there. Never really saw the best of him. He's a Victorian coming back home.
Tough nut, Shane O'Brien, and will be a very welcome acquisition for the Magpies.
Number 22 is Reece Shaw, another in the long line of Shaws. He is the son, of course, of Ray Shaw, former captain, and he wears number 22, the number of his uncle Tony.
If pedigree has anything to do with succeeding in AFL football, Reece Shaw's a certainty.
So look, mate, people hungry for football, they can't wait to see these new recruits. We can't wait either. Here's another new recruit, over from the West Coast Eagles with Collingwood, Mick Malthouse.
His speed and power is unbelievable. His talent, unquestionable. His ego, insatiable. Saturday night on C7 Sport.
Oh, look at that. Oh, dear.
I've definitely mastered my sport.
Is he a sideshow or a sporting superstar?
That was a beautiful workout. Oh, baby, I'm feeling so good.
An encore presentation on the man who's taken the boxing world by storm. Prince Nassim, Saturday night at 10:30 on C7 Sport.
That's a brilliant shot. 6, it is!
What is he doing out there? Critical decision. On your bike, baby.
Over the top and out. What a magnificent catch.
Already on with no lead idiots. Sucking the carrots through your teeth.
Heading up for a new season.
Oh, hitting the helmet.
Shane is a Mercedes-Benz, but he's had 300 services.
At the Wicket, live Tuesday night at 7:30 on C7 Sport.
Australia salutes Johnny of Wallabies. Up you go, Bill.
The realisation of the dream for all of us. And I suppose there's been a lot of sacrifices made along the way. Champion side. Netball, cricket, ourselves, we're going to win the Davis Cup. What a year for Australian sport.
And welcome back to the MCG. Friday night football, New Year's Eve football, the Millennium game. And this crowd is building up. I reckon people might go to the MCG tonight on their way to the New Year's Eve celebrations on the Yarra and the fireworks and everything. This crowd will build all night. The toss has been made. Nathan Buckley's won the toss, and the Pies will go right to left in the first quarter. Down on the boundary line, here's Dipper with Craig Hutchison.
Yeah, thanks very much, Drew. Craig, you've been in the Collingwood rooms. Everyone's a bit nervous in there.
Yeah, they're very fair dinkum about tonight. Certainly a nervous feel around the ground side. Doesn't it feel like a game of footy? I was here 24 hours ago. You walk in and everything's in readiness. It's fantastic.
Actually, the weather's like winter football. But also, and most sides have got a new assistant coach and team manager, so everyone's a bit edgy at the moment. And we'll catch up with you guys throughout the night with interviews and also the bench.
Thanks, Dip and Hutchie. Have a good night. What a way to celebrate New Year's Eve. Could there be anything better than watching a game of footy? Brad Smith for Collingwood, number 15, coming from the right-hand side in the ruck, a young former West Australian. Buckley gets the first possession, the hand pass over the top. McKay, who hasn't had a long break since he played for Australia in the Irish Test Series. The kick out towards centre wing. This was where they were chasing the ball in the outfield in Test cricket just yesterday, and now it's a football venue. Hickmott gets the hand pass back. Kutafides kick up towards centre wing. Use of the body. There was no whistle on the play. Mal Michael for the Pies. Ball sits up for Patterson, and they're off and running. Getting it away, Orchard. And Buckley up over the centre of the ground, but a good mark taken in defence by Lappin. The Blues into attack. It bounces through to Whitnell. First goal of New Year's Eve, but Whitnell missed it and kicked it away to the right. And in the background, let us introduce our guest commentators tonight from Carlton, Ange Christou. Evening, Ange.
How do you do?
You were barracking that one through.
Well, I thought it was going to be a goal. I mean, he doesn't usually miss, but too bad. Maybe next time.
And also with us in commentary tonight, just to balance the ledger between Carlton and Collingwood. Yes, a Collingwood player, even though we think of you as an Essendon bloke, Ricky Olorenshaw.
Good evening, Drew.
Good on you, mate. And with me, Ian Robertson as well.
Yes, Drew. Brad Smith has been penalised there. He's doing the ruck work for the Magpies at the start of the game. Kick forward by Beaumont, in towards half forward. No mark taken there, so the ball gathered beautifully by Hickmott. Tries to get it across to Lappin. It's gathered here by, looks like Chatfield. Back to Lappin. Hand pass away. Not bad either. Beaumont kicked 8 goals in half a game against the Magpies earlier this year. And Whitnell has marked on his chest, certainly within scoring range. And Lance Whitnell, gee, there's been a lot rest on his shoulders over the early part of his career in AFL football. And he's taken the mark here about 25, maybe 30 metres. Certainly no drama with the distance. He shot at goal.
I think he's missed.
It looks a bit ordinary. He's scored another behind.
Yeah, pretty tough conditions out here, boys. It's very, very swirly. As we know here in Melbourne, the last 3 or 4 days, it's had that winter condition. So, and a bit tough for them being very early in the season.
Yes, how many goals did you kick on New Year's Eve, Dipper?
None.
I think it's a new experience for absolutely everyone. Big kick in by Michael Clark, the West Australian, who's come from the Fremantle Dockers. Close to the boundary line and gaining ground along the line, Lucuria, wearing a new number this year, Lee Walker's old number. What a shame it was, Lee Walker. How many attempts did he have at league football? Gavin Brown started in 1987 and he's about to go into a new century. Krasiska started the same time. It's pretty tough, isn't it? Patterson takes the mark.
Hasn't been pretty, but very effective.
Man from behind the mark, and he's holding the ball as he was playing on Patterson. What do you reckon about that, Robert?
Red hot, red hot. I don't know how you boys feel that play the game, Rick and Ange, but by gee, the umpire just gave him no chance.
Yeah, once the umpire instructs you, you must get behind your mark, and once you move off, it's play on.
So you can cope with that, Rick? You think that was all fair and above board?
Yeah, well, Pato was pretty stiff, but that's the rules, and the players should know it.
Fair enough.
Must have peripheral vision, though.
Go on, Ange.
Must have peripheral vision, I think.
Well, eyes in the back of your head.
Must.
The acting captain for the Blues tonight, McKay, gets the ball into the middle of the ground where Prendergast has taken the mark. His kick forward, Whitnell and Mel Michael. Hand pass away by Michael, back towards the middle of the ground. Taken here for Collingwood by O'Brien. He swings around and kicks it straight towards the half-forward line. Kick forward by Tarrant. It's a wild kick off the side of his boot, bounces awkwardly in the left forward pocket, away from Patterson. Gee, Prendergast, you have got to watch where you put your hand there, because within scoring range, that was nearly a free kick to Patterson. He made it look worse than it was, but certainly the left hand of Prendergast into the back of Patterson. Boundary throw in left forward pocket for the Magpies. Anthony Rocker gathered for the Blues by Mansfield. Handball away. This is Scott Freeborn. Was very good for Port Adelaide. And the ball now kicked wide. Whitnell couldn't take the mark. Hickmott's a chance. He's had 3 or 4 possessions already. To Hickmott. Over to Hamill. In turn to McKay. Some experience there for the Blues. The kick towards half forward. Mark has been taken. And that's well done. The mark has been taken by Brent Houghton. And wouldn't he love this if he could kick the first goal of the Jetport Parking Millennium Challenge match here on New Year's Eve at the cricket ground against his old side, the Magpies.
Well, he has been renowned for his marking as well, so marking ability. He played a couple of games in the reserves this year and did very well. Obviously impressed the selectors, and hence he's with us this year.
Well, according to all reports, played very well for East Burwood.
Winning the best and fairest, mind you.
Well, way offline that kick, Dipper.
Yeah, way offline that one, mate. While we're in the Carlton 4 line, I'll give you the benches. Sexton, Merrington, Rice, Fletcher. I'll get back to you, boys. I lost my page.
Well, you're entitled, because there are 6 on the bench in these Ansett Cup games, and also part of the rules for this competition as well. 17.5-minute quarters plus time on.
Great kick.
Beautiful kick, wasn't it, to Gavin Brown. Out to Mal Michael. Steps once, twice. Michael, who started his league career as a full-back. Anthony Rocker, the only one in the forward 50. Here comes Big Rock. Oh, Kuda was good and works a double play with Franchina. Kuda Feedy's beautiful disposal. Beaumont.
Whitnell on his own.
And here's Lance Whitnell. 3 marks already.
Was that Carl Langdon?
Looks a bit light in the hair, doesn't he? Long kick forward. Bit of jumper pulling going on, and seen right in front. and surely the Blues will get the first goal of the night.
Gee, let's hope so.
Well, they've had 3 shots, 2 from Whitnell and 1 from Houghton, and none of them have scored.
Well, certainly a free kick, though.
Brendan Favola. Now, Brendan Favola, he was drafted in '98, came from Beaconsfield.
He's had a couple of years, and again, I mean, he's working quite well with the senior mob this year, and hopefully he can have a place in there.
Right in front, 20 metres out.
Oh no.
Gee, Carlton have had all the play and haven't managed a goal.
Geez, Ange, I think you blokes need to do a bit of goal kicking program next month or so.
We have, though.
For the next game.
Almost every second day we've been kicking goals, learning how to kick goals.
I think, interestingly, 18 kicks to 10 favouring the Blues, 14 handballs to 9, 6 marks to 3. We'll just back up what you said, Drew, that they've had plenty of the play, the Blues, and can't get a score on the board. That kick in has been marked by Smith, and he plays on quickly. Gets the ball to Lucuria. He's a good kick off that left foot, and the ball goes towards Tarrant. Knocked to the front. Buckley dragged down by Mansfield. Ball runs free. Chance there for Vance. Nelson. Koutafidis. Good handball over the top. McKay. Wider still. Puts Caporelli under pressure, but he does it well and gets away from Orchard. In turn away from Patterson. And Caporelli kicks the ball wide to the wing. Oh, terrific mark taken by Clark. Outpointed Whitnell on that occasion, one-on-one. And kicks it towards the middle of the ground, where the mark is taken by Krasiska.
Young Michael Clark there, he was the last pick for the Pies in the draft, came from the Dockers, was on their list for 3 years, never got a game, always injured. Kicked by Nelson, wobbles a bit to half forward. Michael does well, a bit of backup support.
Have they teamed up on
Clark again?
Have they teamed up on Lance Whitnell, because they seem to be having 2 or 3 on him?
And here's a big chance, Hamill. Caporelli won't miss from here, keeps it close and gets it. Well, at last, Ange, the Blues got a goal. It took them a while.
Well, that's right. I can see that they're double teaming Lance Whitnell, so there obviously is a Carlton. There is a Carlton player on his own, and he did manage to get it, which is great. Lovely handball and ever reliable Campo.
I thought Mark Orchard was unfortunate there. He followed the ball, thinking we had the ball. Camp really ran on, kicked the goal.
So back in the centre, the Blues have kicked the first goal. They lead 1-3. Collingwood yet to score. Nelson can't break away. Orchard number 2 for the Magpies. And the umpire will bounce once again right on the strip that has been replaced from the cricket match that was mentioned earlier, finished yesterday. McKay's kick towards the full forward area. Awkward bouncing ball for Krasiska. Gets the hand pass down the line. Gavin Brown, Bathiris. In turn, it was Lucuria. Then back to Krasiska. Orchard under pressure there. Oh, Krasiska did well. Tyson Lane, who was very good for the Magpies last year, kicks towards full forward. Over the head there of Rocker and his immediate opponent, who is Stephen O'Reilly. And it goes out for a boundary throw in left forward pocket for Collingwood.
It's great hands from Jackatine there, I thought, in the centre. Really got the ball moving, and here's our chance to get our first score.
Well, we've had some very ordinary weather here in Melbourne over the last 5 days.
Weather, isn't it? Down
That's
to 12.
just a real indication.
That's amazing. It was footy weather during the cricket as well. Here's Paul Williams. Back to Krasiska, 52 metres out. Floats it out wide. Jackatine off the left. A centering ball. Chance here for the Pies, 3-1. Ball knocked down beautifully. And here's the Lions recruit. O'Brien off the left, but just misses away to the left.
Sensational courage there by Adam Chatfield.
There's no score. The ball's coming back.
Yeah, you missed that, Drew. If you can see on the... That's right. Adam Chatfield, eyes on the ball. Lovely. Courageous.
Well, actually, it was poor play by Collingwood because they had the numbers there, 3-1. Should have done better out of it than that. Ball back towards centre wing. Gee, tough in the clinches here. There's some real good hits going on. It's Freeborn with another blonde-haired lad bursting through the pack. Mansfield, a long kick to full forward. Ball hits the deck through Michael it goes. Chance for Lappin. Oh. Hand pass intercepted by Brown. Popped over the top and Krasiska can run onto it. Good shepherding by teammates. Well done by Krasiska again.
Great chasing.
That was a good tackle. The kick landed with Patterson. Back to O'Brien. The left footer again to Rocker. Once he got there, probably should have taken the mark. Spilled it to Franchino. O'Reilly out of defence. Not a bad kick, but it bounces to Lappin. Oh, a bruise in the back. And a free kick to Lappin.
Well, if you doubted whether the boys were going to have a bit of a go at it, I think the opening minutes have shown you that they're pretty keen on the result. Both teams doing very well in the early minutes. Lappin's kick has been marked by Camporelli, and he's deep at right half forward. He can kick for Whitnell. His kick is beautifully weighted. Gee, that was a good kick.
I think they're going to tag this guy.
I think they are.
So you reckon they're double teaming him, and he can't stop getting the ball.
Well, Whitnell was someone we did look at in the pre-match address, and I think Mel Michael's got the job at the moment. I think Mel's taken the punt and running down the ground, leaving Lance in the forward line by himself.
Shot for goal by Whitnell, looks pretty good. The Blues have got their second on the scoreboard. So a goal to Camporelli and a goal to Whitnell. The advantage with the Blues there, 2-3, Collingwood yet to score.
That was destiny, I thought. It was bound to come sooner or later. So,
well, you can't just keep getting the ball on the forward line without getting goals. Eventually you've got to get some. Geez, played well, hasn't he? Been absolutely sensational. Mind you, the delivery was perfect. So it's all Carlton so far. The Pies haven't scored, and Carlton 2-3, and really they could have been about 4 or 5 goals.
Well, there you have it. They do. They are double teaming.
Ball back in the centre circle now here. Somebody has got to punch the ball out or attempt to. Can't just fall on the ball like in the past.
Whitnell's become such a headache, they've dropped Richardson back to be the second man in.
Thrown up in the middle rather than the bounce. Gee, it is tough there. Very well done. Comes to Camporelli. His delivery is good again. Camporelli.
He's becoming one of the best 5 or 6 at delivery, isn't he?
At least.
Huh?
At least.
And he's just very good value every time he gets the ball.
Most definitely. And I mean, he's been working on his skills ever since he's been at the club. So why not? He's doing very well.
Carlton made their first move. Meriton on and Prendergast off. And just to keep you up to date with the benches, boys, take 2. Simon Fletcher, Colpitt and Girillo for Carlton.
And Favola for goal. Looks pretty good.
Might have scraped it. Yes.
Got it. So Brendan Favola, after an early shot that missed, finally gets a goal. Whitnell has one, Favola one. And the other one coming from Camporelli himself. So Camporelli has set up the play a couple of times for the last 2 goals and kicked one himself, so he's on fire. Didn't have much of an off-season after playing against Ireland. And Favola kicked it straight and long. Beautiful kick.
And the coach's box for the Blues. David Parkin.
And Wayne Britton actually coaching them tonight.
Wayne Britton's coaching. Gee, Andrew McKay, captain for the night, has been tremendous. 8 possessions already across that half-back line. There's a mark being paid to Hamill. Gee, what a... is that a reward for his efforts being given number 4, Ange, do you think?
Not quite sure.
Aaron Hamill goes for goal.
Sure, he'll have to perform with that. I mean, he doesn't mind. You know, he's a bit of a performer himself, so he's quite happy with it.
Wasn't a bad player, the guy who carried it prior to Aaron Hamill.
Remarkable player.
Now, boys, I'll give you the Collingwood bench. We've got Johnson, Lockyer, Shaw, Davis and Michael Gardner.
So 3-4 to 0 with 6 3/4 minutes left.
Nathan Buckley, superb player, and it'll be interesting to see what sort of a role he gets with Mick Malthouse there to coach the Pies at the start of a new era. Everyone following Collingwood certainly hopes it's a new era after the wooden spoon in '99, only the second in the club's history. And incidentally, in recent history, Carlton and Collingwood, they've just developed this tradition against each other. Carlton have won 10 of their last 11 matches. Williams up towards centre wing. O'Brien caught in the middle. Good punch behind by Mansfield. Oh, here's Camporelli again. Open goal square. He gets his second.
Lovely kick. Must tag him.
Well, Camporelli's either scored or set up 4 goals in about 5 minutes.
I think Orchard's got the job. He was given a job before the game. I'm not sure whether he's still there or not, but that's something that Mick will have to have a look at.
Well, I don't think that Williams is a natural left footer, so he was a little under pressure there too, so a bit unlucky.
Not a bad kick by Camporelli from outside the 50.
He's a tough man to play on, Scott. As soon as he gets the ball, he always makes sure he delivers well, so you've really got to be careful with him.
And keeps you very honest too.
Yep.
The umpire about to restart play. The Blues 4-4 lead Collingwood yet to score. And the ruck work on that occasion being done for the Blues by Merrington. The ball spills out to Licuria. His kick towards half forward. Taken here by Patterson. Real chance for the Magpies here. Patterson's flying shot at goal off to the right. But the first score for Collingwood coming with just under 6 minutes left. And, well, there's a bit of passion.
There's Stephen O'Reilly, who doesn't know anything about the Carlton Collingwood passion, but he just found out then.
Tell you what, the bloke from over the fence knows a bit about it, Drew.
What a shot that was. Happy New Year.
Kick in was taken there by Chatfield. His kick up towards the wing. Collingwood 2-on-1. Brown confronted there by Whitnell, but just numbers. Mansfield very cleverly found some space onto his favoured left foot up towards half forward. Nearly the mark taken by Favola. Hand pass out Richardson, and Clark's little left foot kick. Oh, bad understanding. Allows Chatfield in for the Blues once again. His kick towards half forward. Favola, still an opportunity. Michael under pressure. Handball back. Clark misses it. Pressure applied by Beaumont. Kick off the ground, Favola. And he's kicked a goal. Soccer style, Brendan Favola. He's got his second. It is all Carlton, and that would be the understatement so far. 9 scoring shots to 1. They lead by 33.
Well, Michael Clark's waited a long time to get a go in senior footy. Look at this fumble here. Then he tried to rush it behind. Didn't hit it hard enough.
Mind you, relentless pressure though. So it's quite a good go.
You had to feel sorry for the kid there. Back in the middle, and Carlton, grand finalists in '99, 34-1 against the Wooden Spooners. Brown looking to work it towards the line. He mightn't have hit it hard enough either. Gavin Brown with all his experience. The ball's still there for the Blues. Eventually it gets to the line, only just.
I think what's really hurting Collingwood is the open forward line that Carlton's using at the moment. Whitnell's one out, Favola's one out, and it just makes it so hard in the back line.
Crowd is building all the time. It's not massive proportions, not what we usually associate with Carlton Collingwood games, but it is building all the time. And the government's move to have free rail and tram transport on New Year's Eve. Good move. It might help a bit later on.
I'm sure there might be a rush come towards half-time.
I don't think it's done Mr. Bracks and his party any harm whatsoever, Drew.
Certainly a different way to spend New Year's Eve. Anyway, game be over by about 10 o'clock. Still plenty of time to move on for fireworks or whatever else. Rupert Betheris working in a very enclosed space there. Orchard, the hand pass in. Oh, they've turned it up. Whitnell almost at ground level mark, but Michael did well to get it away from him while lying on his back. Here's another chance for the Blues. Hurried shot for goal, bouncing and out of bounds in the forward pocket.
Rick, you can see what Collingwood was trying to do now, just trying to handball the ball through, run the ball through the back line. Is that the way Mick has told his players to do it this year?
Yeah, I think a couple of skill areas there haven't helped us bring out of the back line. But he has got some set styles of play he likes to use, and you surely will see those in the next couple of quarters.
Well, Michael got it away from Hamill on that occasion. Oh, a bit slow. At league football, they're quicker than that. You've got to get rid of it. Orchard. Chris Sisko turned it over the line.
I think what Ange mentioned about the pressure being applied by the Carlton all players, but most impressively are those 6 forward line players who are just not allowing Collingwood to get the ball clear.
Well, exactly, and it'll be an absolute bonus if the forwards do chase, because usually with other clubs they tend not to chase. So it's an asset.
Oh, gee, you get howled down if you weren't one of the 22 that had a go. Shot for goal by, was that Chatfield?
That's right.
Threw it on his right boot, hooked it across his left shoulder, not quite far enough.
And a typical backman saying that. Forwards should chase and tackle, eh?
Why not? Did you chase in your day, mate?
Yeah, up on the wing, of course I chase.
Oh, terrific fly by McKee. Couldn't take the mark. Buckley in the middle of the ground.
Great vision.
Great vision it was too, Rick, wasn't it? A good little kick to Williams. Williams should kick a goal. I think Magpie fans would love this. Paul Williams going straight towards goal. Slips off the side of his boot, scores a behind.
Good sign, but the old 1-2, Buckley to Williams. We haven't seen Williams play a lot of football the last 12 months. Obviously, he's been injured.
Great attempt.
Just maybe lacking a little confidence there as Vance accepts the kick in for the Blues. He goes down towards the wing. A little late on the scene, Whitnell. Good mark taken by Tarrant.
Expecting big things from this bloke.
He was a contender for Mark of the Year, I'm sure, last year. He took a couple of spectacular marks. Rocker couldn't take it. Oh,
Great
good tackle. Great tackle by Anthony Rocker.
He had no chance, though. He just
Has he
grabbed
been
it.
rewarded here for throwing the ball, maybe, was it?
He didn't have a chance.
That's what the umpire suggested there, Robbo.
That's, Michael
Okay.
Mansfield. Well, he was on the deck and he did sort of, I don't know, volleyball it away, but what a tackle. That took the wind out of his sails.
I think he should have just left it.
And knowing what we've seen of Anthony Rocker's kicking ability, you would have to say that he'd get the distance. He's going to kick from 50 metres. He goes back and lets rip with a beauty right to the goal line. The Blues defending. Lappin goes for a rush behind. Perhaps not such a bad play. And there's that guy. Have a go at him in a dark lane one night.
Looks like Neil Barn, doesn't it?
Gee, is he warming up for a big night?
Heavily in disguise. Oh, dear me. 35 plays 3, and we're close to quarter time in the Jetport Parking Millennium Challenge on New Year's Eve.
Since the season finished, we forgot about blokes like that, didn't we?
You
don't quite see that many like that at the cricket, do
It's
you?
terrific. He's a footy fan from way back.
McKay's kick not bad. A juggle by Hamill. Wearing number 4 this year. 36 he was last year. That was a beauty. And Carlton working the ball fantastically on the forward line. Here's Houghton against his old side. Kicks long up towards the goal square. Michael gets away from Whitnell to mark. Mal Michael facing a real tide back there. Picked the right bloke though. Nathan Buckley, the skipper. Kick by Buckley. 60 metres to centre half forward. Tarrant couldn't quite take the mark. Play on, said the umpire. With a wave of the hand, there was no whistle. And Lappin gets the hand pass out wide to Chatfield. Adam Chatfield, he has been good. Punch down to the front. Chance here for Lacuria. Gets it back to Richardson and Collingwood working it out of defence. Williams. Good kick by Williams, a ripper. Craig Jacatine.
Oh!
Now, from the centre cricket pitch area. And that was Andrew Merrington, the cricketer, who had a year off playing football to come back and play cricket. Inside the 50, just as Whitnell was about to mark, Orchard knocked the ball over the line.
Actually, just elaborating there, Andrew Merrington must be a very, very good all-round sportsman. I mean, I think was it prior to Christmas that he was playing district cricket with Essendon?
That's right, and then he also went over to England as well and showed a bit of promise there, but changed allegiance and chose football.
It can't be that good. It'd be England's test side. Fair dinkum. Not that easy to get into it, is it?
Camperelli, flying shot towards goal. No mark taken. Chance for the Blues through. Houghton, it's dribbled. Just missed to the right. Second score for Trent Houghton. He's kicked 2 behinds.
The good news is for the Shaw family, Reece Shaw has just run onto the ground playing his first game for Collingwood. Looks like he's playing half-forward flank.
What about him, Ricky? Pace, they reckon?
Yeah, plenty of pace. There's been big raps on him, and he's probably a bit of a Peter Matera type mould. He's very quick. He uses his pace to get away from players, and fairly skilled. And I'm sure over the next couple of years he'll excite the fans.
Oh, kick by Clark. The Blues have it again. The hand pass comes back. Disappointing kick, but it's going to finish up all right. Bursting the tackle, getting the hand pass away.
Lovely goal.
Terrific goal for Favola for 3. Brendan Favola has just kept on getting it on the forward line.
I think the promising signs for the Blues would be Chatfield, Favola, Houghton giving a little bit as a tall forward. Just the players that have come into the lineup.
And these young guys have been very stiff throughout the year not to be included into the senior list. They've been playing great reserves football. So hopefully this year will be their year. Or next year, obviously.
Well, Brendan Favola, so far 4 kicks, 3 goals.
And I think I noticed there, Drew, that just a couple of years ago he was with Dandenong under 18, so only 20 years of age. Would that be about right?
Yeah, so drafted in 98.
Plenty of room for him to keep on improving. McKay leading spectacularly. D'Ulio, he's on the ground and forced to kick with the left. Goes high towards half forward. Oh, great leap. Ball spills. Camporelli about to swoop on it. His immediate opponent there was Johnson. But the siren has ceased proceedings here at the cricket ground. New Year's Eve. Only a couple of hours to go for the year 2000. And we're playing a game of Aussie rules at the cricket ground. And at quarter time, the Blues. It is all Carlton. They lead 6-6-42. Collingwood are 3 behinds.
Well, job ahead for Mick Malthouse. He's come over to a new club to build something. He was really starting from the foundations, but when he was with the Eagles, he wasn't used to conceding 6 goals a quarter like that. So he's got a lot to make up, down by 39 points.
It's a new year, a new millennium, and C7 Sport will be serving up all the very best in our fantastic summer of tennis. Anna Kournikova will be holding court along with Patty Schneider, Arantxa Sanchez Vicario, Conchita Martinez, and a galaxy of international and local stars. One of the premier events in our super summer of tennis, the Thalgo Australian Women's Hardcore Championships, commences live Wednesday from 1 on C7 Sport.
Harvey Norman for big savings during our big catalogue sale. And look at this. Spend $500 or more on furniture, bedding in Manchester and you can buy on 24 months interest-free terms with no deposit and no repayments until April 2000. Buy now and pay no deposit and no repayments until April 2000. What a deal. And when we say big, we mean big. 24 months interest-free terms with no deposit and no repayments until April 2000 on furniture, bedding in Manchester. But only during the big catalogue sale. It's on now at your nearest Harvey Norman store.
David McKenzie had a big couple of days in South Australia last week. Struggled a little on the weekend, but he's had an exciting morning here. Let's go to now on the 6th. This is a par 3 of 141 metres, Jack.
Yeah, downhill tee shot. And just take a look at this. Hello. Hole in one. Difficult shot for Norman. You can see the steep bank in front of him. Flat, straighter face club. He's going to play it off his back foot, chip and run. Up the bank.
Golly!
Shot, Norman.
Well, Peter Leonard, after a lovely birdie 4 at the second, looking for another fine start to this third round. And that has slam dunk. I don't believe it.
This to take him to 10 under. He's going to stay up. Yes!
This for a 3, and what a round of golf this would be for Greg Norman. A 3 on 18. Looks good. What a finish for Greg Norman.
Aaron Badley. He had a terrible lie, Bruce, in the back left-hand bunker here at the downhill par 3.
To Paul Gale, playing his third to 15. Watch Paul McGinley. Nice to welcome back Ian Baker Finch. All set up for a wonderful day tomorrow, Ian.
It certainly is. Cream certainly rising to the top. Difficult conditions today.
This for 3. This looks good. What a finish. What a finish for Aaron Badley.
Part of the crowd here at the MCG, building up all the time to watch Carlton playing Collingwood on New Year's Eve. It's quarter time here, and the first quarter was all the Blues. 6-6-42 to Collingwood, 3 behinds. Goals coming from Favola, who got 3, Camporelli 2, and Whitnell, who kicked 1. Mick Malthouse has a bit to do. And as Ange Christou did point out to me during quarter time, of course, Collingwood started their preparation for this game about a month earlier than the Blues.
That's right, I think roughly 3 weeks earlier.
Yeah, a little bit earlier.
So, I'm sure we would have been a little under the hammer prior to the game.
Yeah, you blokes looked a lot sharper in that first quarter, though. I was a little bit surprised. I thought with our preparation we might be a little bit sharper, but your blokes look quite good.
Well, there might be a bit of accountability, lack of accountability. So.
Ange Christou in commentary with us, along with Rick Olorenshaw. Wayne Britton coaching the Blues tonight.
Right.
Is there any move? What's happening there with David Parkin? Is he just standing back and having a look at the overall, or is he grooming Wayne Britton one day for the future?
Well, he possibly could, but I don't. Look, he will be a coach next year, most definitely. This is David Parkin, but I'm pretty sure he'll be grooming him as well. But he'll be taking all the Ansett Cup games as well, Wayne Britton.
And while you were talking then, Ange, John Worsfold was on screen.
Yes.
He'd be a handy recruit on the coaching panel, wouldn't he?
Very handy, the smiling assassin, as we all know.
Now here's Steve Kernahan with Dipper.
Yeah, thanks very much, Drew. A new role this year, Chairman of Selectors, mate.
Oh, it's just a title, Dipper, yeah.
Now, well, a very good start by the boys. They experienced this. Scotty Camporelli played quite well in that first quarter.
Yeah, Scotty was good. He pushed forward and they couldn't find him, and just the way the forward line rotated worked pretty well. Hopping in the pressure they put on was great.
Thanks for joining us, mate.
Thanks, Dip.
One of the all-time greats, Stephen Kernahan. 6-6 to 3 behinds. Carlton well in charge. And the Pies go forward through McKee out of the middle. Ball knocked down to the front. Koutafidis. What a game he played in the preliminary final last year to get over Essendon by a point. Last quarter performance, absolutely magnificent. The umpire's going to come in here. He'll throw the ball up here, the umpire, rather than bounce it. Different law for the Ansett Cup. Speed the game up. Sometimes he might do it so quickly that contesting ruckman mightn't even get to the contest. Kick forward by Freeborn there for the Blues. Whitnell's been a headache. Sure has. Andy McKay sprints away from them. Kicks out wide for Voller, who kicked 3 in the first quarter, but Richardson back there to do the spoiling.
Andy McKay showed a bit of pace then, mate. He outran Reece Shaw, who's renowned for his pace.
Well, all our backmen are fairly good runners, mate, so been training hard.
Most of them.
I think you get a bit quicker when you've got the footy, don't you, Rick? And you're running down the ground.
Oh, definitely.
Helps a little bit. Boundary throw in. Whitnell doing the ruck work up against Michael. Ball spills towards Favola. He's knocked it close to the boundary line. And eventually, in front of Michael Gardner, the ball spills for a throw in.
There's a number for Voller. Jez's old number.
Well, he's got a bit of a load to carry too, because he was one of the probably... Well, in the best 3, John Nichols, Bruce Dool and Jezelenko.
That's right. He's been doing quite well tonight too. So
Chatfield's kick, good mark taken by Beaumont. Just looked, well, a little taller and maybe a little bit on the physical side, stronger there than Licuria. So Beaumont will have a free shot at goal as a result of that mark. He's right in front and about 45 metres out.
Very fair, I thought, Ian.
Beaumont going for his first goal in this match. Very good left foot kick. Excellent kick by Beaumont. It's another goal to Carlton.
It's nothing.
Simon Beaumont gives us absolute nightmares every time he plays against Collingwood. I think last game against Collingwood he kicked 8 goals, and I think most of those were in the first half.
It's quite correct, mate. So let's hope he can kick a few more tonight.
I've been very impressed with young Chatfield. He started a little slowly, but by geez, worked his way into the game. He's had 9 possessions.
Yes.
Well, Collingwood have got to do something about this. 7 goals to 0 so far. New Year spirit going on in the Great Southern Stand there. Back in the middle. Too much New Year spirit for the Pies as yet. Haven't got a goal on the board. Paul Licuria. At centre half back for the Pies. Goes for a bounce. Number 18. Used to be worn by Lee Walker. What a tragedy he was in football. Kept redrafting him, but he could never come up. Hand pass dished off out to Williams. One out is Rocco, close to the boundary line. Ball stays in. Branchino works it towards the line, floats the ball along the boundary line, and that may be a free to Camporelli. It is. got one in the back. He's been absolutely sensational, Scott Camperelli. And what was the story? He apparently wanted to leave in the off-season. He wanted to go back to Adelaide. Just pushing for more money or what?
Why not? it tends to work, actually, towards the end of the season, so it's great to see him back anyway.
So squeeze the buck at him. Speaking of bucks, here's Nathan Buckley. Gets the ball on. Lockyer, centering ball. But, well, Carlton players just absolutely everywhere.
Here he is again. Why would we want to leave him, though?
This boy's had a few touches too, about 11.
Lappin, up short of centre wing.
You know, there's not much of him, but he can get the ball and he can play the game.
Well, Matthew Lappin, we were talking about, of course, not a strong, physically strong person, but very skillful. There he is on screen with his immediate opponent, Tarkin Lockyer. Ball spills for Mansfield. Just a beautifully little hand pass there to McKay. In turn to Whitnell. He made a contest, which is all that is required. Camperelli on this occasion. Mel Michael works his way to the front, takes it over for a boundary throw-in. All fair and above board, according to umpire Brian Sheehan. And the ball will be thrown in between wing and left half forward, favouring the Blues. What has turned out to be quite a good night after the 3 or 4 days leading up to tonight's football match. It did look rather ominous, to say the least. Camperelli skillfully to Nelson. Nelson towards the front of the goals. Contest being provided down there by Houghton, gathered by Chatfield. Kick across his body, hits the post.
I thought it deserved better.
Well, it must have looked pretty good in running from behind Adam Chatfield, but it's rattled into the woodwork and scores are behind for the Blues.
What's his story, Ange? He's been on the list for, what, about 3 years?
Third season? 3 years, yes. And as I said, he's been playing great reserve football, but it just hasn't had the, just hasn't got it quite yet. But obviously he's showing the signs tonight. Let's hope he can continue with that.
It's a big stage here tonight, and he's sure making the most of it. Here comes Lappin. He comes in short, beautiful delivery, and Favola's got it again. Is it Jezza or Favola?
He looks a big, like in size, a fairly big boy too. Would he be, what, in excess of 182, 183 or something?
Oh,
like
taller than that.
He'd
be 6'1", 6'2". And a very good kick for goal too, so I'm putting the pressure on.
Well, kicking for his 4th. And Carlton's 8th. Oh, it's coming back. That's a beautiful kick.
Thank you, son.
You might have just booked a seat in the commentary box there, Ange.
Tell you what, this is a bit of a pacing at the moment, isn't it?
Well, you wonder where Collingwood are going to find their opportunities to score goals.
Yeah, I'm just seeing a few skill areas in the midfield coming out of the back line. It's really cost us so far. So if we get those things right, I'm sure we'll push the ball forward and get into our 50.
23 times to 10 so far in the forward 50, favouring the Blues. Plenty of opportunities for the Blues to score. They've had 15 scoring shots to 3. Buckley for Collingwood kicks it forward. Uncharacteristic kick forward there by Buckley. Underneath that was Vance, gathered by McKee, hand pass. Maybe it was meant there for Shaw. He's dumped. McKay, Chatfield, well done. Kept hold of the football, then gave it back to the acting skipper. And Andrew McKay, in his attempt to try and get the ball onto Vance, has forced a boundary throw in. Left half forward, about 50 metres from the Magpie goal. Stephen Patterson having a spell on the interchange bench.
Nick Davis replaced him.
Go Dip, sorry.
And Nick Davis replaced Patterson.
Thank you. And Nick Davis immediately into the play, and his kick has been marked by Mark Orchard. So here's the chance for Collingwood to open their account goal-wise. Mark Orchard from about 20 metres.
Now, what's his kicking style like, mate?
He hasn't kicked a lot of goals in his career, but we've done a fair bit of goal kicking practice over the last 2 months. We have to get out there and kick a certain amount each week, and surely he'll kick this.
Orchard goes for goal. Goal umpire doesn't move. Collingwood open their account. First goal to the Magpies, kicked by Mark Orchard. Early in the second term. It's been a long time coming, but just might be good signs for the Magpies. Nick Davis kicking it forward, and Scott Camporelli appealing to the umpire that may have been touched off the boot, but Mark Orchard on screen, the goal kicker for Collingwood.
Part of the interchange bench for the Pies. Well, they've finally got their first goal as the MCG scoreboard clock showed the 8-minute mark of the second quarter for their first goal. Going pretty hard here.
Very stiff.
And holding the ball.
A little bit too high.
Camporelli's not happy.
Oh,
you're kidding. And right in front of him too.
So Williams takes the free. Rocker in the middle of the pack.
That's interference.
Against Franchino, maybe, was it?
That's right, yes.
So free kick to big Anthony Rocker.
I think you should have a shot here, Drew.
Well, if the Pies can get the next one and maybe add another one, they can make a contest out of this. But gee whiz, at 8 goals to 0, it was looking absolutely the worst finish to 99. Even worse than the end of round 22.
This is definitely Anthony's distance too, I think, Drew. He loves kicking them from outside 50. He's probably better off kicking them out there than he is in close.
Breeze left to right across him. That's way right. And a behind. Runner up in the best and fairest last season.
Are you ever fed stats from that point of view, Rick, about how many times goals are kicked from outside 50 compared to trying to maybe kick it in short or look for a short kick?
Yeah, we're given statistics. We know whereabouts most of the goals are scored, but you've got to know your kicking length. So Anthony Rocker can kick goals from 50, other players can't. So Mick Malthouse has given a licence to those guys who can kick the distance to have a shot.
I'm sure you'd rather kick them, though, within the 50.
Yeah, much easier.
In that play, Chatfield getting another kick. He's now up to 12 possessions. Good performance by a bloke still waiting to make his league debut for premiership points.
They're doing the world of good, actually. Great confidence booster.
Hurried kick by Lockyer. Bit of a fumble by Hamill. Comes into McKay. Slips O'Bree's tackle. Nelson.
Very scrappy.
Here's Michael Mansfield off the left. The kick towards full forward. Bavola works to the front again. Gets a free kick. It's Beaumont. Simon Beaumont.
Gee, Mansfield's going to be a handy player for the Blues, isn't he?
Most definitely. Here we go. Oh, I think he did grab him over the neck.
Free against Paul Lacuria.
Yeah,
over the shoulder.
With Michael Mansfield, most definitely a very, very tough unit. Very nuggety and fairly honest too.
Gavin Brown looking worried. And he has missed from point-blank range, well, right in front. Really should have been a goal. And you don't need that.
15 scoring shots to, well, the MCG scoreboard says 5. We actually say that it is 6 scoring shots to Collingwood. A free kick has been picked out here to Beaumont, so he's second within 30 seconds.
Kick.
Good kick it was, wasn't it?
And screened well by Hickmott.
Well, okay, explain that. What's screened well? What, just protecting the player, coming down to take the mark?
Making out as if he was going to mark, but just stayed in front of...
In the background? Yep.
Just there, just screening. Very legitimate.
The opportunity now for Favola. Well, he would think that Christmas came last Saturday and it's come again on New Year's Eve, Brendan Favola. He's going for his 5th goal in the first half of this match. And it's a beautiful kick. It's a goal. So 5 goals to Brendan Favola, and the Blues supporters are doing all the cheering at the MCG here on New Year's Eve 1999. Carlton lead 9-8 to 1-5.
And after he did kick that, it was just great to see. Just almost every Carlton player, give him a pat on the back.
In that situation, you do need a third man to come up. If the full-back's out of position, you need a Collingwood player to come through and try and interrupt the full forward.
Well, huge lead here for the Blues. And they go forward again. Camporelli has cut them to pieces. To the goal square. Favola might have been held back. Oh, it got through for a behind. before the charge of the Light Brigade could reach the ball.
Looks like Gavin Krasiska's got the job on Favola now too, so hopefully Gavin's got to know how to try and keep Favola down to no goals.
Clark kicks to himself and then goes to the Great Southern Stand side of the MCG, but a straightforward mark is taken by Hamill. He looks very confident. Opening his year 2000. Kick forward by Hickmott to the goal square. Camporelli. Krasiska prepared to concede a behind to the Blues. How'd you like to be playing across that full back line or half back line, Rick? It's coming down, isn't it? Pretty quick.
It's coming down that quick. It just doesn't give you much opportunity to spoil your forward. You'd really like to have other blokes around you to help out.
Simon Fletcher preparing to come on for the Blues. And in the meantime, Michael Clark goes for a bit of a run. Kicks not that far short of centre of the ground. And a hand pass in from Houghton. All Carlton again until Gavin Krasiska stands tall to take the defensive mark.
Two will always beat one, Drew.
Johnson. Mark taken by Houghton, and Carlton players just going past beautifully. It's as though last season hadn't finished, and this is just an extension of their run towards the grand final.
Great contest.
Yeah, it was a great play by Michael Clark then. He was the man who had to come in and spoil, otherwise Favola would have taken another mark.
That's right.
You see Michael Clark come in there, great courage, kept his head up. That's a fantastic play for the young kid.
And the son of the West Australian cricket coach, Wayne Clark.
Wayne Clark played 10 matches, I think 10 test matches for Australia back in the 70s.
Yep. In the days of World Series cricket. Here's Camporelli again. Scott Camporelli gets his third.
I think he has been promoted on that list of great kicks in the AFL.
Most definitely. Inside 50 and outside 50, as we've seen tonight.
Tell you who did well there, Hickmott, just at ground level to keep that little contest alive. The ball did eventually spill out to Camporelli, and he capitalised by kicking the goal, but it's just the unsung hero at ground level on some occasions that maybe don't get credit, but Hickmott was pretty good in that little scrimmage. 10-8 plays 1-4, Blues go forward again. Camporelli on this occasion dispossessed. Licuria, Camporelli, Williams, tackled there by Heath Culpet. Ball kicked out wide. Oh, gee, they worked in numbers beautifully. Beaumont got the goal, but I think Hamill was instrumental as well there. Second goal to Simon Beaumont. You'd need a slow-mo replay, but I'm sure Hamill was in there forcing the ball again to the advantage of Carlton, and on the end of it was Beaumont.
It was just a great numbers that Carlton had there. You can see in the picture there, Carlton 3 on the 1, forced the ball forward, and that's what happens when you've got numbers at the ball. Fell into Beaumont's hands and he's kicked the goal.
So back in the middle, centre circle, just away from cricket pitch area from yesterday. Not a great bounce by the central umpire. Well, fortunately in this game they only bounce it to start quarters.
Mark Orchard off the ground, and Peferct has picked up Scotty Campbell and Camporelli, and they're at each other, which is good to see.
Quick hands in the middle, and Licuria's kick. Ball palmed down to the front. Franchina knocks the ball back. That's clever. Stephen O'Reilly for the boundary line.
Well, he couldn't pick it up in handball, could he?
Well, it's going to be a tough one when it's close to goal and close to the boundary line. You've got to knock it out. Do you knock it for the boundary line, deliberately out?
Exactly.
Do you knock it infield, or do you knock it attempting a behind and it goes out? There's all sorts of possibilities crop up. Goes Collingwood's way. O'Brien got a few touches early. Haven't seen too much of him in the last 20 minutes or so. Ben Nelson for Carlton. His kick over centre half back.
Very good kick. Oh,
the ball landed on his point. Was unlucky. Richardson for Collingwood. Attempted juggle mark. Franchina. He's got numbers in support. Mansfield to O'Reilly. Well, they did that a few times.
Split the gap.
Ball close to the boundary line. Look at the tackling by the Blues, putting Collingwood under pressure all the time. Lane a kick, but the mark to Mansfield.
I don't think you'd be overawed, Michael Mansfield. 181 games we showed on the screen in the preview. Chatfield just looks as though he belongs, which is a great sign. Hamill on the wing, kicks it towards full forward. Favola pushed out, was he, by Krasiska?
No, it's downfield.
Was it?
Yes.
So the free kick, not against Krasiska, but paid to his immediate opponent against...
Pushing it back.
Shaw. Favola's shot at goal might bounce through. It does. Does he kick 6?
My goodness.
6 goals. Brendan Favola has been the man of the moment so far in this match. 6 of Carlton's 12 goals. We've got 5.5 minutes left in the first half.
I was nearly going to ask you whether he could kick like Anthony Rocker. He's a long way outside 50, but nobody in the goal square could get a finger to it.
Well, I wouldn't have picked that one, actually. It was a 60-metre kick.
That's a monster, isn't it?
Though.
Well, it was only a couple of days ago that the MCG produced a new hero in Brett Lee. Well, nearly being bracketed with him tonight is Brendan Favola. 6 goals before half-time. Oh, Chatfield moving well, but sandwich this time. You're gone. Buckley wants to take the kick. Could have gone to either of the Collingwood players. Bucks took it, delivered it well to Lane.
No harm in trying, though. He did try to take them on. I think Campo's coming up for a rest.
Camporelli coming off the ground after 12 kicks, 2 handballs. He's kicked 3 himself and set up about 3 more. Buckley, disposal perfect. And the way he kicked the round ball in the Irish series was something to see. Now he's got it back, and he marks the turf. And look at him tee off on this one.
Ricky, is he going to kick this one?
Oh, mate, he'll clear the fence by a mile, I think. If you're looking at about 10 rows back, he can kick a footy.
But will he kick it, though?
He'll kick the goal.
Okay.
He's a captain. He'll set us on a roll here.
By example?
Set by example, yeah.
Nathan Buckley right in front. Collingwood have managed just 1 goal. 49 metres out. There's their second.
They're not wrong.
Never in doubt. Gee, he can kick the ball and straight.
Oh, he's amazing. Even at training, just to watch him kick both sides of the body, he's fantastic.
That was textbook kicking. Sensational goal.
So Nathan Buckley gets the second goal for the Magpies. Played a lot of football now at AFL level. He won a Magarey medal in South Australia before starting his career with the Brisbane side. Fletcher, dispossessed, gets another chance. Hand pass, just a little touch on the ball was important. Johnson to Williams. Good effort by, I think it was Mansfield, got his hands to Paul Williams' jumper, forcing him to kick, and kick rather ordinarily by Paul Williams' standards. And speaking about it being a game of centimetres, it was important that Michael Mansfield just watched the outstretched, and he feels as though he's going to be tackled, and eventually kicks the ball. 6 out of 10, 5 out of 10 by Paul Williams' standard. Chatfield, another possession, a high kick in the direction of Whitnall, but 3-on-1 there. Big punch by the Magpies' defence, finds the safety of the boundary line. And maybe some Canadians by the look of that flag. They go for the Pies. Canada loves the Pies. Well, there you go.
Got them everywhere, Rick.
Yeah, we have, haven't we? They're mad too, aren't they? I love it.
Number 28 is Prendergast for the Blues, a youngster. Buckley's little left foot kick. McKay there to just play the role of the general of the half-back line, full-back line. Terrific player, Andrew McKay. The leading player, I think, in the competition at breaking tackles. And very effective from that point of view. Between wing and left half forward, favouring Collingwood. Kicked out of there by Bathiris. Good effort there for Carlton by Culpet. Just coming in and getting a fist to it. Umpires found a free kick. It's going to Collingwood. What's that for? Is that new rule? Not moving the ball on?
I think maybe someone picked the ball up off the ground while they were on the ground, which you can't do. You have to tap the ball clear. And I believe a Carlton player did pick the ball up while he was on the ground.
Hang on.
And then a 50-metre penalty.
What was the free kick for, though?
I think it was Hickmott. Hickmott was on the ground and tried to pick the ball up, which you can't do. You have to tap the ball clear. Once you take possession of the ball, it's a free kick against you.
That's right. And it's a 50 as well, is it?
Well, I didn't see that bit. I was trying to work out.
A bit of chat.
I think there was an infringement, yes, after that decision had been made. And Lane now going for Collingwood's third goal from only 15 metres out, pretty well straight in front. Tyson Lane kicks his first goal and gets Collingwood's third.
Well, Rick, if you're going to do something like that, I suppose it's handy if you're 11 goals up.
Well, that's right. You might as well learn why you're that far in front. But Tyson Lane loves kicking a goal. He would love to get that 50 metres, and he likes to celebrate his goals as well.
Initial free. Probably holding the man. No. Could have been back chat.
None the wiser myself.
Go to the third umpire.
Big lead to the Blues, despite Collingwood getting a couple in the last 3 or 4 minutes. Bathiris goes shoulder to shoulder with Diulio. Whistle!
Gee, that was the ever so slightest tug of the jumper.
The boys at Carlton all waiting for Ronnie to kick his first goal. I was at Optus Oval one day last season where he had a couple of great chances and he muffed them. Here's a big chance for Vola. He might have 7 before half-time.
Gee, Whitnell good there in that passage of play.
Sensational, actually. And great vision too, to spot this young chap. So he made a contest. And, it was Kudafiti, sorry.
A great delivery by Kuda. And Brendan Favola has kicked 6 goals, 1. Great action. 7 goals prior to half-time.
So let's hope he kicks a few more after half-time too.
Well, you don't want to do a Beaumont and get them all out of the way to half-time and then turn it up.
Well, I think last year we used Presti Giacomo to go back on the Beaumont. We haven't got that option tonight because Presti's still out injured.
Who knows? They could even give him a rest from half-time.
Bring him off like Camporelli, you reckon?
No, let's hope not, mate. Go for 14.
Both of you players started your careers quite a few years ago now, but certainly it's got to be terrific for the confidence of a young bloke like Brendan Favola right now.
Oh yeah, he'd be absolutely wrapped. Even though it's an Ansett Cup game, it's not as important as a normal game, but to get 7 goals in the first half, you'd be wrapped as a young bloke.
Prendergast, another one of the younger players for the Blues. It's kick forward, good mark taken by Kuda. He goes across the half-forward line. The kick not as well directed as he would have liked. Swooping on it was Diulio. Off to Chatfield. He kicks into the pocket for Vola. Shows a bit of pace too for a big boy. Ball spills there for Colpert. And Tarkin Lockyer there for the Magpies. But awkward bounces over for a throw-in.
Yeah, well, actually, it is great to see, as you said, with Brendan Favola. I mean, he's not the only one. There's Chatfield and there's Houghton and even the other inclusions, O'Reilly and Mansfield. So we're all doing very well.
Hickmott working very hard up there on the forward line. Gee, Favola, he's going for everything, isn't he? He's like Adam Gilchrist. If you bowl it up half volley outside the off stump, see you later. It's hit the pickets.
Well, if he's half as good, he'll do, mate. Boundary throw in. Whitnell doing the work in ruck. Now, you're on the ground. He's holding the ball, rules the umpire, even though I thought he did knock the ball out. And that was advantage to Collingwood. Play on. Here's Anthony Rocker well down the ground behind centre wing. Slung to the ground. Play on, says the umpire. Gee whiz. This is pre-season Ansett Cup. Look at them go for it. Whitnell. Michael. Michael's had a lot of trouble with him tonight. Oh, big chance here. Culpet. Holding it.
Great tackle. Sensational tackle.
So Mal Michael finally gets on top. Not of Whitnell this time, but he laid a good tackle. Out to Tyson Lane. Back to Michael. They've worked across to the broadcast side of the ground. Lane again from halfback.
Ill-directed.
Or Mansfield just leaving his man Williams and moving forward to approach the ball. Number 10 playing on number 10. And Mansfield in his first game in the Carlton colours doing particularly well.
Hey, Geelong going well enough that they could let Michael Mansfield go?
I just don't. I can't fathom that at all.
Kick round the corner, came in short. Chris Siska, geez, had some trouble back there on the back line. It's been up there all night.
Lucky bounce.
Here's a chance. Round the corner, Culpet. Just offline. Behind a Heath Culpet.
I know there's a million stories in the naked city about players moving from one club to another, but gee, when you've got a class player who's done all the hard yards, 181 games, represented the state, you wonder just what happened between Michael Mansfield and the Cats. Kick in, high flyer was Whitnell, taken away by Buckley, striving hard to lift his side. Gets it away to Paul Williams, and that promising attacking move for the Magpies is cut short by the half-time siren. And at half-time, it is a big lead to the Blues, 13-11-89. Collingwood 3-5-23. Goal kickers for the Magpies, all singles. And for Carlton, Scott Camporelli has kicked 3. But the star of the first half was Brendan Favola for the Blues, who kicked 7. And Simon Beaumont kicked 2.
Let's not forget Adam Chatfield as well. It's been really remarkable too. But regardless of the scoreboard, I think Collingwood have shown a few glimpses of that. They will come back.
Well, Chatfield was terrific with his 15 possessions, but Favola, 8 kicks for 7 goals. 7 goals won in the first half. And so Carlton well on top, as they've been in the last dozen contests between these two.
Auckland, the home of the America's Cup.
What a wonderful race!
Live, all the emotion, expertise and excitement of world sailing.
Look at the arms being pumped!
After 4 long years, the challengers return for the chance to contest the cup.
And the back of young America has been broken.
Who will face New Zealand?
What a crazy, chaotic finish!
The Louis Vuitton Challenger Cup, live on C7 Sport. C7 Sports' hot summer of Australian soccer, the National Soccer League.
What a corker!
Sunday night live at 6:30, the Wollongong Wolves face up to Parramatta Power.
What a brilliant goal!
Then Monday live at 5:30, it's the battle between the Auckland Kings and Canberra Cosmos.
Nice a shot and he squeezed it in! What a screamer!
Catch the superstars of soccer in the National Soccer League. See more soccer. C7 Sport.
"16 years, 332 games and 915 goals. The statistics alone would rank Hawthorn's Lee Matthews among the greats of Australian football. But Lethal was more than that. He was as tough as any competitor, as quick as any man, a match winner, and above all, a leader on and off the field.
It's going towards Matthews. Matthews takes it, walks back, he's broken away from that tackle with strength. Moncrief and Merrigan. Moncrief come up, and in comes Matthews. He bounced it once, twice, and kicks it through. Another one.
At the beginning of his league career, Matthews shared the roving duties with Peter Crimmins, feeding the ball to the dominant forward of the 70s, Peter Hudson, and his other half at Hawthorn, Don Scott.
It's on to Scott.
Matthews won 8 Club Best and Fairest awards, including premiership years 1971, 1976 and 1978. Short and stocky, Matthews could fly, but his strength was on the ground. Unusually built for a rover, he's been described as a pocket battleship. But on the forward line, he was magic, topping Hawthorn's goal kicking 6 times. As captain of Hawthorn in the 1983 Grand Final, Matthews led by example with 6 goals, perhaps the highlight of his career.
The Hawthorn Football Club, Lee Matthews.
In full flight, Matthews was unstoppable, although he upset West Australian fans in 1973 when he ran through Perth idol Barry Cable in a state game. Matthews was always scrupulous in making the ball his only object. Always a tough player, he finished third in the Brownlow counting twice and was in the top 5 another 3 times. Lee Matthews played in 4 winning premiership teams and went on to coach Collingwood in their victory in 1990. Lee Matthews, a football legend.
Well, what a scoreline. Happy New Year if you're a Carlton supporter. Boy, they kicked 7 goals in that quarter to 3, but at half-time it's 13-11-89 to Collingwood 3-5-23. And the goal kickers led by Brendan Favola, who in the first half has kicked 7 goals, 1. Phenomenal. Camporelli went off and had his knee bandaged just before half-time, but managed 3 goals. Beaumont 2, Whitnell 1. And for the Pies, well, it was at the 8-minute mark of the second quarter before they got their first. Then they had a little bit of a rush, but then Carlton finished well again.
Well, it's been a struggle. I think that we came here expecting the more experienced campaigners from Carlton just being a little bit too good maybe for Collingwood. Collingwood have had a better preparation, but Andrew McKay, the acting captain for Carlton, he's had 18 possessions in the first half. Camporelli, another player, has played a lot of football. Whitnell now in his 3rd season, he's been terrific. And Aaron Hamill just getting that hand pass away. They struggled a little early, the Blues, at shooting for goal, but it was the absolute polish of Scott Camporelli who kicked the first goal, and then that beautiful little pass to Whitnell where there wasn't a lot of room. Yeah, just spotting. The spotting is one thing, the delivery is the other. And Brendan Favola, I think he's got under the guard of the Magpies at this stage of the match. Well,
if he was holding out for more money in the off-season, Scott Camporelli, tell you what, it was worth it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any drama there. I mean, the Blues don't lose many of their good players. They somehow, whether it's Wes Lofts or John Elliott or Colin Kinnear, whoever they are working behind the scenes, they do a very good job, first of all, at just getting the boys there at the club and then making sure that they're reasonably well satisfied and well rewarded. Gavin Kosiska was given the job to go back on Brendan Favola. He had something like 9 possessions in the first half. Hamill looks as though he's just got maybe a little harder. Aaron Hamill, he was pretty good last year, but when the grand final came along, he was one of the players that I'm sure would have looked at his performance and maybe looked at it and said, well, I could have done a bit better.
Well, Ross Lyon and John Worsfold are now on the match committee. Now, if Carlton can't get harder with those 2 hard nuts on the match committee, I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, you mentioned that, I think, before the game, that 2 of those players were very, very hard at the football, both of Worsfold and Lyon influence at Carlton.
Now, young Brendan Favola, who came from Beaconsfield, which is where Ozzie Jones came from to join St Kilda. What a first half of football. He had 8 kicks, 1 hand pass, he took 4 marks and kicked 7 goals, 1. Number 25, it flies high again for the Blues. Long time since Jezza, but there's another number 25. We'll be back shortly.
His speed and power is unbelievable. His talent, unquestionable. His ego, insatiable. Saturday night on C7 Sport.
Oh, look at that. Oh, dear.
I've definitely mastered my sport.
Is he a sideshow or a sporting superstar?
That was a beautiful workout. Oh, baby, I'm feeling so good.
An encore presentation on the man who's taken the boxing world by storm. Prince Nassim, Saturday night at 10:30 on C7 Sport.
That's a brilliant shot. 6, it is!
What is he doing out there? Critical decision. On your bike, baby.
Over the top and out. What a magnificent catch.
Alright, helmet. No lead idiots. Sucking the carrots through your teeth.
Padding up for a new season.
Oh, hitting the helmet.
Shane is a Mercedes-Benz, but he's had 300 services.
At the Wicket, live Tuesday night at 7:30 on C7 Sport.
Still one of my best things. I can get a queen-size mattress in one arm and ring the doorbell in the other. And I say, hello.
The biggest names.
The only person who remembers you finishing second is your wife and your dog.
From the biggest games.
It would be very satisfying to be able to come through and win the World Cup again.
All talk to Tracy Holmes.
You've been reading very old cuttings. Thank you, Tracy. You may play with me.
The Tracy Holmes Show, exclusive to C7 Sport.
and already we've seen Jack some very, very good golf. This is Paul Gow. Tee shot at 6.
Short par 3, Sandy. Players thinking in terms of birdie on the tee. And what a shot from Paul Gow.
Coming up short on 16, but using the putter. To great effect.
We saw Brendan Jones' tee shot, and this is how awkward a second shot he has now. He's played that beautifully, Ian.
Oh, that's a beauty. Nearly hold it.
A wee touch of class. Now Stuart Appleby's third shot here at the par 4 fourth.
Pitching with Jack from the adjacent 15th fairway to go over the corner of those bushes and straight ahead of you, and how good was that? That's a fantastic shot from there.
It's Nick Faldo for birdie at 17, and he's got it. And that's really one of the things that's been missing from his life over the last couple of years.
14, 17 and 4. While a few moments ago this was Appleby and his approach to 9. And a gem before it spins back. Craig Parry, we know is dangerous. A winner last week in South Australia. And attempting to make it back-to-back wins. Putts like that, he can do anything. And Patty's right on that cut edge, isn't he?
Yes, Andy. I mean, another few centimetres left and he wouldn't have been able to play this shot. But Jack said that is exactly the problem. If it does take a couple of bobbles, it could finish up back at his feet. Well, he's safely over, and I tell you what, this is a fantastic result. Look at this. Oh, yes, sir.
Great touch.
Still some light in the sky on New Year's Eve at the MCG, and a big lead to the Blues over Collingwood in the Millennium game. Carlton 13-11-89 at halftime, leading Collingwood 3-5-23. And the goal kickers highlighted by Brendan Favola, a youngster from Upper Beaconsfield. 7 goals in the first half of this game. Scott Camporelli 3, Beaumont 2, Whitnell 1, Orchard, Buckley and Lane the goal scorers for Collingwood. Well, after the football tonight, it's a huge New Year's Eve here on 7. We're going up to Darling Harbour in Sydney for the Rock the Millennium concert with all the big names in Australian rock. And with a preview of what we're about to see after the football, here's Teresa Livingston.
Thank you, Drew. In just a few hours, we'll be bringing you the turn of the century live from Sydney's Darling Harbour. The 7 Network's coverage will include 20 cameras right around the harbour, plus broadcast units right across the country. We have correspondents in London, New York and Paris, plus our news teams are on standby around the world for Y2K updates. 25 streets have been closed off here in Sydney as an expected 1.5 million people cram the Sydney and Darling Harbour precincts. Of course, we have a bit of a concert happening here as well. The biggest names in Australian music will be rocking in the new year.
Tonight, in the Olympic City, the 7 Network of Australia rocks the Millennium. Featuring live performances from Human Nature, The Whitlams, Jimmy Barnes, Bachelor Girl, Vanessa Amorosi, Paul Kelly and lots more. We'll take you around Australia and around the world as the Olympic Network rocks its way into the new year. Then from midnight, we're counting down the greatest hits of the century with Australia's ultimate songs. It's one hell of a party. So be our special guest at the turn of the century as the 7 Network rocks the Millennium.
So, the turn of the century Rock the Millennium concert from Darling Harbour. And there they all are, Bachelor Girl, Human Nature, Paul Kelly, Jimmy Barnes, and they're going to rock up a storm after the football tonight, sometime about 10 o'clock tonight. And don't forget, after tonight's concert, it just gets better. We turn back the clock as we give you Australian Ultimate Songs of the Last Decade. So stick around, and it's going to be one hell of a party right here on your Olympic Station channel. Now, part of the crowd here, and people getting pretty excited now. Now, this lady here looks as though she's just about out of breath. People have been running up and congratulating her. They've just seen themselves on the scoreboard as well. I don't know whether she won the Tats Lotto or something like that. But that's not a bad New Year's Eve. If you're at the footy, you follow the right team, and you've won Tats Lotto, can't get any better than that. Well, I tell you, a bloke who's jumped on board the right team, John Worsfold, who was a premiership captain with the West Coast Eagles. He's come across to Melbourne to join Carlton. The Blues going really well against Mick Malthouse's team tonight. And here is Woosha Worsfold with Dipper.
Yeah, thanks very much, Drew. Well, John, I know what we did to you at Channel 7 upset you, because you give us the boot after 1 year. Well, welcome to Carlton, and what's your role out here?
Well, an assistant coach under David Parkin, along with Wayne Britton. Ross Lyons joined up there, and Barry Mitchell as well. So it's been a great move for me so far. I've really enjoyed it, and I suppose with Carlton I'll be looking mainly at the defensive side of the game and working closely with the back line, and they're working pretty well tonight.
And they are, and it's led by Kudafita, centre-half back, played a terrific game, but the full forward, young Vavola, he's done very well, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has, yeah. He's worked hard. He's worked hard for front spot, which is always good to see in a young player, and he's got the rewards from it. His kicking's been outstanding, so he's finished off the hard work.
And one thing you'll be very happy about, has been a very hard play yourself, is the workload at the moment with the Carlton boys. First game of, obviously, the year, and they're working very, very hard together.
Yeah, they are. They're working extremely well. The young players that have come into the side have fit straight in, and that's credit to the senior players, the way that they've made them feel at home out there. But it's been tough to get them up ready for this game. I think we did all we could. We weren't sure whether they were physically totally ready, and in terms of how hard they were going to be. But they've taken the game really well so far.
Now, Johnny Worsfold in Melbourne. Now, what do you think of Melbourne, mate? Beautiful weather.
Yeah, that's magnificent, Dipper. Yeah, I wear a jumper around all day.
Have you settled in nicely here?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, my family hasn't moved over as yet. They're coming over in mid-January, but I've really enjoyed it. Carlton's been great to me. They've helped me settle in, and the players have been magnificent. I played against most of them, and it looks like they've forgiven me for certain deeds, but it's working pretty well.
Well, thanks for catching up with us, mate.
Thanks, Dip.
Yeah, great loss to Channel 7, but John Worsfold certainly settling in well there at Carlton, and the Blues doing the job against the Pies at half-time. It's half-time here, big lead to Carlton, and we'll be back for the second half after a short break.
Auckland, the home of the America's Cup.
What a wonderful race!
Live, all the emotion, expertise and excitement of world sailing.
Look at the arms being pumped!
After 4 long years, the challengers return for the chance to contest the cup.
The back of young America has been broken.
Who will face New Zealand?
What a crazy, chaotic finish!
The Louis Vuitton Challenger Cup, live on C7 Sport. It's a new year, a new millennium, and C7 Sport will be serving up all the very best in our fantastic summer of tennis. Anna Kournikova will be holding court along with Patty Schneider, Arantxa Sanchez Vicario, Conchita Martinez, and a galaxy of international and local stars. One of the premier events in our super summer of tennis, the Falgo Australian Women's Hardcourt Championships, commences live Wednesday from 1 on C7 Sport.
Darryl Baldock learnt to handle a football in the paddocks of his parents' farm in northwest Tasmania. Years later in the VFL, it would appear he had the ball on a string as the Doc mesmerised his opponents with ball skills few have ever matched.
A chance for Collingwood to clear here. Down the ball, he's running into an open goal, he kick. It's there.
Although short, only 177 centimetres, Baldock quickly established himself at centre-half forward and controlled the St Kilda forward line from his first game against Collingwood in 1962 till he returned to Tasmania at the end of 1968. In his first year, dazzling Darryl won the Saints' Best and Fairest and the Goal Kicking Awards, making Melbourne and South Melbourne wonder why they'd not followed through, both having signed Baldock before St Kilda. In 1965, St Kilda played in its second ever grand final.
Finds himself, he bites low. What's that tell you what? It's pretty good from here.
Kick down towards Baldock. It's Baldock. Oh no, he never played it.
The next year, Baldock played in his dream game when the Saints beat Collingwood by 1 point to capture the red, black and white's only flag. Twice runner-up in the Brownlow medal, Darryl Baldock was a footballer who could dominate the ground and the air. After 6 years in the big league, Darryl Baldock returned to Tasmania and a lengthy career in state parliament, before answering the call of the Saints again from 1987 to 1989 as coach.
Welcome back to the MCG for the Millennium game. New Year's Eve, as we're about to go into a new century. And the players of both teams back on the ground for the second half. But before we get underway, here's Craig Hutchison with Dean Laidley.
Yes, thanks, Drew. Collingwood assistant coach Dean Laidley joins me now. Dean, the Millennium not working out the way you would have hoped at the moment.
Well, no, we sort of turned the ball over early in the game and didn't take opportunities, and they've been able to run the ball very well out of the half-back line.
What's mixed reaction to that been? Has he been saying that they're just too red-hot, Carlton, or you have to improve your disposal?
Well, we are. We're just trying to stop the run out of the back line at the moment. If we can do that and capitalise, if our marking forwards can hold their marks, we can put the score on the board.
And do you start to experiment a little bit now?
Oh, look, I don't think so. We've got a few kids out there, and look, if we can just give them some experience, it'll be all the better for the future.
Thanks there, Dean Laidley, assistant coach of Collingwood, joining us. And I can confirm, this is a sensation, that the girl in the crowd has won First Division Tats Lotto, sharing in $21 million. Her and her family have headed home, and why wouldn't you? Big cheer after seeing the numbers on the MCG scoreboard.
Fairy tale story, isn't it? It's unbelievable. So we're about to get underway for the second half. Well, in the past, Collingwood have lost their last 3 first-round games in the Ansett Cup, but of course, this time around, it's a round-robin competition, so they've got at least 2 more games to play in the first round. I must admit, they have had to travel interstate quite often at the start of their Ansett Cup campaign in the past. Here's Chatfield. His disposal by hand and foot has been absolutely excellent. Kick by Franchina up to Hamill, who takes the mark, and Stephen Kernahan's old number 4, Aaron Hamill. The kick towards the 50. Whitnell using his body on Michael. O'Brien has gone right out of the play since a bright start. Yeah, all he could do there was go for the line.
Drew, interesting stats. Chatfield 12 and 3, Camperelli 12 and 2, Mackay 11 and 7. They've had 47 possessions between them, and 28 of those 47 have been in the midfield for Carlton. So well and truly more than half in the midfield from Chatfield, Camperelli and Mackay.
If they can nullify them, you'll certainly have a chance.
Yeah, I'm sure that's an area that Malthouse would have addressed at half-time. He would have said to the midfield to become much more accountable, and then once we've got the balls, push forward then.
And young Ben Johnson playing his first game, obviously got the big job on Scotty Camperelli, who's back on the ground.
Yeah, Johnson wearing number 31, just an 18-year-old. Preston Knight's best and fairest. Bit of a scrap.
Actually, the recruiting staff are very happy to pick up Ben Johnson at number 64, I think very low in the draft, and I know Noel Judkins was a big rap for Ben, and hopefully he can have a good career.
And in the next break in play, we might ask you about the well-publicised Josh Fraser and how he's going. We didn't expect to see him here yet, but the number 1 pick in the national draft. Here's Camperelli on his merry way again to the goal square, but that was directed as though Krasiska had a Carlton jumper on, Gavin Krasiska.
Well, it was one of the good things about Camperelli, the way he controlled that awkward bouncing ball. Smith is well tackled. His hand pass goes out in the area of Lappin and Bathiris. Hickmott quickly onto Bathiris, and the ball spills over for a boundary throw-in. 66 points the margin in favour of the Blues, 89 to 23. And there are some young faces there. It was the Collingwood interchange bench. Bradley Smith doing the ruck work up against Koutafidis, gathered by Lappin, gives away a little bit of meterage. See, that's not bad. You can call on Michael Sexton to come off the bench. Mansfield forced to kick on this occasion with the right. Not bad either, was it? Sexton takes the mark. 2 possessions early in the third term. Goes away to Scott Freeborn. Freeborn's kick towards full forward. Hamill. It spills to the back. Favola was nearly onto it again. Krasiska over the top. Now the chance for Collingwood through Gardner. His kick, ill-directed, out on the full. Free kick to the Blues. to be taken down there by Chatfield, who quickly moves it on, and a mark is taken by Camporelli, well within scoring range by Camporelli standards.
Well, we saw just before half-time he was having his knee strapped, and there it is, just below the right knee, but he's come out on fire at the start of the second half again.
Well, obviously it's only minor. Well, let's hope it's only minor. But look, I think this one's in the bag too.
You back this one, would you?
Oh, most definitely.
You got a lot of confidence in your teammates, Ange. Camporelli shot at goal. Looked pretty good in running, but just off to the right and through for his second behind. 3-2 to Scott Camporelli. So the Blues edge on to 13-12-90, leading Collingwood 3-5-23.
This is Michael Clark to kick in for the Pies. Goes in with a half-distance pass to O'Brien. It's 3 possessions to half-time, Shane O'Brien. And I reckon he got all those in the first 10 minutes. Michael.
There's a couple here.
Yep. Another 1-2's handy. O'Brien's hand pass. Gets it away and they're out of trouble. Up towards centre wing. Bit of jumper pulling going on here. Gavin Brown goes to ground with Dean Rice. A couple of veterans there. Well, Mansfield slipped a tackle, and his tackle actually slipped up high, and he'll get the free kick. Michael Mansfield, former All-Australian, not a bad sort of a recruit. Dangerous pass to Sexton, though. Camporelli's everywhere. Kicking for goal, back in defence. Floated hand pass to Mansfield.
Very lucky to get out of that, Drew.
To half forward. Hamill couldn't take the mark. Michael gets it away, and eventually Buckley across the ground, outnumbered here, Collingwood. Koutafidis decks his opponent, and it's all Carlton on their feet. Beaumont, clever tap back. Camporelli, great disposal in the middle to Nelson. Nelson straight up the corridor. It bounces to Hamill. He looks for support. Lappin pops it over the top for Vola again.
Right, is it? Could it be number 8?
Could be number 8. He's got 7 goals, 1.
What are the odds?
Well, pretty good the way he's kicked it so far.
5-1.
No, I think
I'll take some of that.
That's a bit
Be
generous.
careful. Rick was about to take a slice of it too.
Well, distance is about 40 metres. Kicks on its way, looks good. He's got it.
Thank you.
The good news for you, Ange, is that he's kicked the goal, but the bad news is Dipper will be waiting for you after the game outside the commentary box to collect.
Dipper couldn't get his credit card out quickly enough.
Well, with his money, geez.
Just pay Robbo and I'll get it off Robbo
You'll
later.
never see it then, Dipper. You will never see it.
Orchard back in the middle now, picking up Camporelli and young Ben Johnson off the ground.
Well, certainly, Rick, not what the Magpies were looking for at the start of the third term.
No, I'm sure Mick Moldhouse was keen to get the first couple of goals and even just get it forward and see what we can do down there, and here's our chance.
Well, Patterson was the player that kicked it forward. Prendergast, and leaving it behind was Vance. There's still a chance to clear, though, the Blues. Vance, back to Prendergast, and his kick is going to be all right. Underneath it is Sexton. Orchard number 2 for the Magpies. Away goes Sexton. Left foot kick is pretty good. Finds Lappin. Lappin is just forward of centre wing, and he turns and kicks rather effectively with the right boot in the direction there of Whitnell. Gathered by Hickmott, not able to break away from Clark, and both players going over. So a throw in the left forward pocket for Carlton. We're just in the early stages of the second half. The Blues have kicked a goal. 96 plays, 23, the margin 73 points. A Carlton player coming off, looks like Koutafidis.
Yes.
And
let's hope it's not too serious.
A flying shot at goal for the Blues is out of bounds on the full.
Been pretty quiet tonight, Cooter, hasn't he, Ange? The game he played in the preliminary final against Essendon was just phenomenal.
Almost wanted, single-handedly.
Single-handedly won the game.
But yeah, tonight he's done his job, I believe, but hasn't been a shining light.
Fancy asking Ange to criticise Cooter.
I wasn't waiting for him to weigh in on criticism. I wasn't criticising myself. Just that when he went onto the ball in that preliminary final, he just took it by the scruff of the neck. One of the finest quarters of football played in finals ever.
Well, he hasn't done anything wrong tonight.
Hickmott, centering ball. Well, Whitnell waited and Richardson took the mark. Out to Lane, nearly cornered by Chatfield. His kick close to the boundary line, marked just inside by Davis. Kick by Davis up towards half forward. Very open forward line for Collingwood. Even if they win the ball here, there's no one to kick to. Patterson just had to hack it away. Awkward for Jackatine, for Betheris. Beaumont, good tackle. Not only dispossessed him, but took the ball away from him.
Oh,
Very stiff, very stiff.
Gee, Lucuria did all the work.
He was lucky he wasn't free kicked earlier, Simon Beaumont. And then he gets the
great tackle.
The second one.
Gee whiz.
Great mark by Hamill.
Sometimes you've got to reward the blokes just making all the play.
Yeah, well, we appreciate that it was under the new rule. There's a good player. He's a good pickup for the Blues, Hickmott. And he kicks in towards the right forward pocket, or he got the hand pass away to his teammate, who eventually kicked into the pocket. And it's out of bounds. Lance Whitnell looks much stronger in the upper body. But there's Cooter with young Fletcher in the foreground. Cooter having a spell on the bench. Michael leaves it behind. Whitnell, Lappin. Gee, that looked rather pedestrian stuff for the Blues. Lappin missing to the right.
He usually eats those too, though.
Cooter's just getting some ice applied to his
I reckon
right
all
thigh.
the coaches are watching tonight to see the application of this new law. And I reckon on the evidence of what Lucuria did then was penalised, the coaches will chuck it out. Because the bloke who made all the play got slaughtered.
Yeah, it was like the reaction instead of the action, wasn't it? You know, they're ready to pounce on the guy who had effected a tremendous tackle on Simon Beaumont, Paul Lucuria, and was not rewarded, and then eventually was penalised under the new rule for what looks to be easy to explain, but I hope you can help me, Drew.
Well, I know it's only under trial for the round-robin stage of the Ansett Cup, and it may not even be in for the finals. I'm tipping the coaches will get rid of it before the finals come along.
It'll take a while for the players to get used to it, for sure.
Oh, it's a poor kick by Orchard. Favola having a night out. Right to the point of the square. Oh. Camporelli again. Oh, he follows up. Kicks another. Anyway. He's got another chance. Gets the hand pass away. Well, in there was Orchard to make up for his original mistake in giving the ball away. Now, Craig Hutchison, are you surrounded by money up there or something?
Well, almost through. This is a lucky seat in the MCG tonight. M11, seat 16 here in the southern stand, where tonight's Tatslotto person was sitting. Kevin's sitting with me. He saw what happened. Our Tatslotto winner in this seat tonight.
Yes, you just saw the numbers go off on the screen, stood up and screamed, rang some relative, and now they've all gone off to celebrate, I think.
So it was a girl and she rang her husband, is that right?
Yeah. She was with her brother and some other family members.
And understandably they've gone home, you wouldn't blame them. Did she shout the bar before she left?
No, I didn't go near the bar.
There you go, everyone very excited over here, Drew, because a Tatslotto winner amongst us.
Oh, that is absolutely phenomenal. She didn't go past the commentary box either, I might say.
Fancy going home. What a spoil sport. She just won a share of, what, 21 million, and she's given the footy away.
Well, this is Tatslotto for Favola as well.
And trust Hutchie to break the news as well.
He has kicked 8. It's away to the right and a rare miss. He's kicked 8 goals, 2.
Drew, if we have a little lapse in play, just to go over that diving on the ball, not allow a player who is on the ground, in brackets, not on his feet, to take possession of the ball. The player may hit the ball clear away from his body by either hand or clenched fist in a hitting motion. A double-handed action or scoop would be deemed illegal disposal.
So he made a mistake by actually robbing the bloke of possession and actually by accident finishing up on the ground with the ball.
With the ball, taking possession.
So his tackle was too good.
Yeah, but it was reactionary, wasn't it? Yeah. You know, the first action by the Paul Lucuria was, we all thought, pretty good. But anyway, I'm sure we'll become a little bit more used to that as the more Ansett Cup games that we watch. And, of course, the second one in the Ansett Cup won't be played for about another 4 weeks. See, that's not a bad mark there by Vance. Across the half-back line, gets it out wide. Lappin, give this boy a little bit of space and he'll annihilate you. Matthew Lappin, beautiful kick into the pocket. Favola not quite able to make the ground. Krasiska favoured by the bounce, comes away from the half-back line and kicks it down to the wing, where the mark is taken down here in front of us by Chris Tarrant. Looks the goods, Chris Tarrant. And maybe season 2000. There's Kinnear. Maybe season 2000 might be the stage to which set Chris Tarrant alight.
There were signs in 99.
Yep.
Yeah, he's definitely he's going to be a focal point at centre forward. He's done a big pre-season on the weights. He looks like a man now rather than a boy, and I think he's going to be a real key over the next few years.
Will Sav be right for the Ansett Cup or just Premiership?
Yeah, Sav had an operation over the break. He had his patella tendon cleaned up, and he's looking at playing probably about a month's time.
Ricky Olorenshaw with us tonight in the commentary box representing Collingwood, and Ange Christou from Carlton. Actually, we've kept them apart. There've been no fisticuffs.
Thank God for that.
We've got them on opposing wings in the commentary box.
I'm a bit worried about all the gel that Ange's got in his hair.
What about your attire tonight, mate? Can you talk about that?
Well, you're definitely dressed for the nightclubs, Ange.
I tell you what, you started off here now, Drew.
Oh, gee whiz. What have I done? Michael Mansfield has been fantastic for the Blues. This time the hand pass goes astray. Sits up well for Krasiska. And now Lane through the centre circle to Anthony Rocker.
Great kick. That's a little better. Actually, Krasiska was good there. He took the bump after getting the hand pass away to create the path from half back, and I think that's the flow that you've been maybe searching for that just has been non-existent for most of the night so far.
Well, that's been part of our focus over the pre-season. He's giving the ball and then blocking, and that's what Gavin just did there. Created a path for Tyson, and he delivered a lot better. That's what we really need to do as we come into the forward line, is deliver to the favoured side of the team.
But he had no choice, though.
No.
He had no choice. He had to block because it was right there.
Well, you'll see Collingwood players do that during the year anyway.
Goalless so far. He's one shot for goal. Was it behind in the second quarter? Here he goes from about 49 metres. Oh, he's hooked it. Almost a big mark in the back pocket for the Blues. The ball's gone over the line, and we'll have a throw-in.
You know, in a few years' time, they'll start to look like that guy over the boundary line that we saw earlier.
Oh, Ricky.
Close to the boundary line, over, out on the full. Collingwood's free kick. Lane runs around to improve the angle, puts it to the goal square. Gee, Tarrant up very high, couldn't take the mark.
Great Shepherd.
Patterson there. Patterson applying the tackle. Beaumont's got it. Hasn't got it. Now what are you going to do? Knock it on when the ball's on the ground, out of the air. And eventually they're able to clear out of defence. Prendergast. Pies have it. Williams. Whistle. He's got to go back.
Touch and go.
So Hickmott takes the free kick from right half back.
Very good mark he is, Alan.
I think he'll do justice to number 4.
I think this boy looks as though he's going to be a real big improver over the next 12 months. His stature certainly improved in the last 18 months, but he looks as though he's still got room for more.
Absolutely, and that's probably why they did give him number 4, so
yeah,
good point.
Mark Richardson across the full back line for Collingwood goes out wide and finds Bathiris. He has the little bit of space to afford himself one bounce, then gets it down to O'Brien. Beaumont quickly onto the mark. O'Brien kicking with the left, up and under. Rice, well done.
Rice.
Patterson trying to mark from behind, but he's a hard man to get over. He's not a big guy, but he's good overhead, Dean Rice. Gets the hand pass away to Vance. Vance goes into the middle of the ground, and a straightforward mark is taken by Lucuria. Perhaps Collingwood's best player tonight, Paul Lucuria. He's worked very hard for most of the night. The kick forward from Bradley Smith. There's a little push out against Tarrant, and the umpire in a perfect position there to see that. Free kick to Sexton. Sexton off the left, doesn't mess around, gets it out wide. Hickmott starting to accumulate now. He's had something like 16 possessions. A bit of a quiet achiever. Lappin, still Lappin. That friendly little touch. Orchard in the back, was it? And the free kick is paid to Collingwood, and the advantage. No whistle, of course. That's another new rule that's being tried out. And Houghton is marked across the half-back line for the Blues. Goes out wide, and Hickmott's got it again. Looks pretty fit, Adrian Hickmott. and he kicks high and long towards half forward. Beaumont up high, put his left hand up, couldn't take the mark. A chance for Williams, but he's gang tackled by O'Reilly and Camporelli, and he's dragged down. Carlton lead 98-23.
Question to you, Ange, because Adrian Hickmott did miss a lot of footy, nearly as much as you. He was out for a long time, wasn't he?
Yeah, we rehabbed almost every day, and I mean it was pretty stressful back then. But credit to him that he's fought hard and he's played well too.
This is Orchard. His kick is high, not much penetration. Penetrated the crowd though.
Speaking of the devil,
Mick Malthouse, plenty to work on here with Collingwood. Inside the 50. Keith Favola didn't get the ball, but he might get it yet. Oh, sleight of hand there. A Lappin from the boundary line. Just missed.
You probably have to agree with me there, Ange. I think Matthew Lappin probably should have centred the ball rather than have a shot from the boundary line.
no, he's a bit of an opportunist though.
Yeah.
But on the boundary, yeah, you're probably right there. I'm with you on that one.
There's a couple of blokes screaming at the top of the square. Finally agree with me, Ange.
Johnson for Collingwood kicks off the left, and Hamill, he's probably taken the mark, but he's not going to wait for the umpire. And a chance now for Freeborn. His little kick is good.
Clever kick.
And the mark is taken by Nelson.
I think he's a little too far out.
What's his best position, Ange, do you think? Ben Nelson?
Bit of a utility. So
still, yep.
I'm pretty sure I'll look all over the ground, except for a ruck, I'd say, and full forward and full back.
Well, the umpire's found a free kick here.
Bowler again, is it?
It's going against Mark Richardson, I think. Now, he dragged him down with the left hand. Mark Richardson is pretty disappointed about that, but the umpire was right on the scene, and the free kick has been awarded to Brendan Favola.
Now, what does he do here, Ricky? Does he centre it, or?
Come on, Ange, give us some odds.
Tell you what, I detect a
10 to 1. Tens?
Oh, you'll dob this.
Jeez. Boys are happy. Lovely.
You know, the easier the goals look, the more liberal Ange becomes with his odds.
I'm not sure what he's talking about, 10 to 1 against or 10 to 1
I think he's going the wrong way. He'd lose a lot of money at the racetrack, Ange.
You don't know how Big Dipper bets. You've just lost $1 million. Tats Lotto's small bickies.
Well, Brendan Favola, 9 goals. And we've still got 2.5 minutes left in the third quarter, and all of the last quarter for him to add to his personal tally.
How many kicks has he had though?
Well, he's had 12 kicks.
It's not a bad effort.
It's not a bad effort. 8 goals. What a night. Nine. What a night he's had. Here's Carlton going through the middle. Favola on the lead. Beautiful hands as well.
Hey, Dipper. 25 to 1.
I'll take some of that as well.
8 marks now.
What's an Ansett Cup goal kicking record for an individual? Well, we got to look at that now.
I know Matthew Lloyd kicked 10 against Hawthorn in 98.
Yeah. Well, this kid could beat him.
Well, there's 10 here.
He's going for double figures now. Favola. Beautiful kicking style. Double figures.
Thanks, Dipper.
His night has been 3 goals in the first quarter, 4 in the second, and 3 in the third. We're still in the third quarter here, and he has kicked 10 goals too.
It is an unbelievable performance, I think.
That just looked a little easy, Rick, didn't it, for Heath Colbert coming out of the centre of the ground?
Yeah, but that advantage rule really went towards Carlton's favour then. The umpire gave Colbert free rein through the centre, and he hit Favola on the chest.
Bit of a training drill, you thought?
Yeah.
Well, Trent Houghton now doing the ruck work. Chatfield back to Beaumont. Beaumont squeezes a kick out of the centre, and that's a mark. O'Reilly in front of Richardson. First grab at it. O'Reilly quickly out wide. Oh, great mark, Lappin. Now, did you see a bigger grin in season 1999 than when Matthew Lappin took that spectacular mark in round 1 last year?
It was useful, wasn't it?
Well,
this is another great mark here too.
the toothpaste company should have been right on the mark there because it was unbelievable. That was a pretty good mark too for Lappin. Coming in for his first goal. His shot is very good.
On target, right.
He's kicked his first and the Blues go further ahead. First goal to Lappin. The Blues have kicked their fourth goal in this third quarter. Magpies yet to add to their half-time goal tally, and the Blues lead 17-15 to 3 goals 5.
At the moment. Carlton have been 10 blokes off. Brad Gotch sitting alongside Mick Malthouse in the Collingwood coach's box. I reckon at this stage, about this stage, the Collingwood president might be a bit sorry he made the deal with John Elliott over the Millennium game at the MCG.
Great effort.
That was a fantastic effort by Adrian Hickmott. Across the ground, Lane at full tilt. Can't take the mark, run down by Chatfield. Gets it away to Michael. Sorry, that was Lucuria, who has been Collingwood's best. Rocker lost sight of it. It comes to Patterson. Shane Warne. He hit the leg stump. But in this game, you don't do a salute for that.
Paul Lucuria's had a very good game, 13 kicks, 8 handballs, and he's been very hard-working through the centre. Very hard-working player, and I'm sure he'll have a good season next year.
McKee, but he's lost control of it. Carlton was working it beautifully out of defence. Vance to centre wing. Camporelli has been brilliant. Williams showed him the ball, took it away. Kicked the full forward. All Carlton have the numbers.
That was Rice's kick, though.
And out of defence, Prendergast, and there's the siren for three-quarter time. Another dominant quarter for the Blues. They have absolutely slaughtered the Magpies here tonight in the Millennium game. It's only three-quarter time. And what a huge lead. 17-15 to 3 goals 5. And Collingwood in that quarter were scoreless. $10 goals to that young fella. He's kicked 10 goals too in the total of 17 goals 15. Well, huge problems for Mick Malthouse at Collingwood.
C7 Sports hot summer of Australian soccer, the National Soccer League.
What a corker!
Sunday night live at 6:30, the Wollongong Wolves face up to Parramatta Power.
Brilliant goal!
Then Monday live at 5:30, it's the battle between the Auckland Kings and Canberra Cosmos.
Nice a shot and he squeezed it in! What a screamer!
Catch the superstars of soccer in the National Soccer League. See more soccer. C7 Sport. January on C7 Sport, the 21st Century AFL. The new recruits of Pay TV exclusive, the Ansett Australia Cup, tennis.
And he seals it with an ace.
The best Grand Slam action, the world's best players live. 5 premier tournaments, including the Australian Open. Cricket. The cream of Australian cricket. We shake up the Pura Milk Cup live and exclusive. Soccer.
Just what the doctor ordered.
The National League live every week, plus the superstars of the French, German and English leagues. Sailing.
What a wonderful race!
The moment of truth, the America's Cup Challenger Series, 150 years of tradition on the high seas, plus the Qantas Cup National Track Series, British touring cars, and the Conans of the Canvas, the World Wrestling Federation.
Oh, man!
Let me hear you say it. The Summer of Sport, only in January, only on C7 Sport, Channel 12.
Forward now to Peter O'Malley. He's the third to the second. He's just a couple off the pace.
Oh, look at this. What a shot for Peter O'Malley, as Bruce said. Full sandwich and sucked it back down the slope.
Aaron Badley. A beautiful little chip shot at the first. And then the drive settled the nerves. Now he's, I won't say beginning to walk on water, but that's a wonderful start.
Aaron Badley has a share of the lead at the moment, but this is an eagle putt. This to lead by 2. Got it.
He's got it, Sandy.
Aaron Badley is saying, catch me if you can. Nick Faldo hoping to complete his round. Here he is playing his 72nd hole. This long putt coming on down. Is this a big finish? It is for Nick Faldo. Michael Campbell dropped back for a birdie opportunity here. He's currently at 8 under. This looks good, Jack. This is the 3rd shot of Aaron Badley. 13. Well, he's played a remarkable recovery.
He got away with it, and a 4 is not yet beyond the bounds of possibility.
Because it took a lot of bottled over us to play the shot he did.
Look at this, look at this. How's that for an answer?
That is the stuff for which championships are won.
And finally, some real emotion.
And welcome back to the MCG. It's 3/4 time here in the Millennium game, and a big lead to the Blues, 17-15, 117 to 3-5-23. It was 4-4 to nothing in that 3rd quarter for the Blues. Goal kickers, what a night this young boy's having. 10 goals, Camporelli 3, Beaumont 2, singles to Orchard, Buckley and Lane for the Pies. Mick Malthouse having a word to his young players. Well, he took the West Coast Eagles over when they were in the bottom half of the ladder, so he worked on them pretty well. Don't forget, after the football, the turn of the century, Rock the Millennium concert, live from Darling Harbour. It'll be huge. Paul Kelly, one of my favourites. Jimmy Barnes will be pretty quiet, I'm sure. Bachelor Girl and Human Nature. All Ange's favourites. And after that, right through to the early hours of the morning, Australia's ultimate songs, a countdown of the 100 greatest Australian songs of the century, right through to breakfast time. Back to football. The new rule. Now, you're not allowed...
More than anything, was it?
When you're off your feet, you're not allowed to take possession of the ball. You've got to knock the ball out. So Lucuria, having laid the tackle, finished up being pinged for that.
Well, it should have been a free kick against Beaumont because he held it with one hand and the ball went into the other and then handballed it. So it was more of a throw than anything. But then it was a bit stiff. Here we go. So then it went to the other hand.
Yeah,
so there was
incorrect disposal by Beaumont.
That's right. So he was a bit stiff.
So an unbiased call because you reckon it was a free against Carlton.
That's right.
Chris, do this.
I think one thing the rule does encourage is the guys to keep their feet. We all like to see good players keep their feet, and that should stop players from diving on the ball and holding up play.
But at times, you know, it's inevitable. Like, I mean, sometimes you do have to.
Well, yeah, in passages of play, you do have to sometimes dive on the ball, but then is that to the benefit of the game?
Well, when you
Definitely
do dive on the ball, obviously they're just saying to you that you have to knock it clear.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Don't at any stage
take possession.
Take it anywhere near you. You've just got to bash it clear. Your instinct then will be to force it out into the open.
Rick Ollerenshaw in the commentary box with us. How much time have you had with Mick Malthouse so far, and what's he been like?
Oh, I've had a lot of time with Mick. He's spoken to every player individually, asking what they found, the problems they've had in their past career, where they want to go in their footy career. He spent a lot of time with guys on the track, focusing on their strengths and weaknesses. But we've got 3 other coaches, Brad Gotch.
Okay, Craig Hutchison's down on the boundary with Brad Gotch.
Yes, I'm here with Brad Gotch. That was an old-fashioned Michael Malthouse spray at 3/4 time. Obviously not too much to be happy about at the moment.
Yeah, he certainly got into the players because things aren't going the way we planned, and we just want to have a red-hot go in this last quarter.
What can you try and salvage out of the game now?
Well, I suppose each player's been pretty much down on the day, so they've got to really try and find something in this last quarter and just make it competitive. So,
and any positives for Collingwood supporters tonight? Any hope that you can see that come out of the game?
Well, only that we're trying a new system, and I suppose it's taking the players just a little bit of time to pick up what's going on. So hopefully we can learn from this experience.
All right, we'll let you get off the ground there. Thanks, Brad.
I used to love interviewing Brad Gotch. He was one of the few league footballers I could look eyeball to eyeball at. One of the shortest blokes ever to go around.
There's Andy McKay. He's already in his civvies.
He's had enough, I think.
His night's over. And Lance Whitnell coming off the ground as well. Camporelli. So some of the stars. Here we go for the start of the last quarter. What can the Pies manage in this last term? Well, after the spray that Mick Malthouse gave them at three-quarter time, I'm sure that one of the things he'd want would be just win the last quarter. And even if Carlton ease up just a little bit, you must win the last quarter.
Well,
And
that's some sort of consolation anyway, so it'd be good if they, even if they're competitive.
And Wayne Britton just told some of his younger players, just be ready to take the next step. Obviously tonight's a bit of an easier game than expected, but there's plenty of weeks ahead of them, and take your opportunity to tonight.
I'll tell you what was a good example there in that scramble. The boys trying to keep their feet when they weren't going to control the ball, which is what we were talking about, that new rule, Rick. You know, don't fall over, because when you fall over, you risk taking possession of the ball and you're going to get penalised.
Yeah, definitely encourages blokes to keep their feet.
Hamill's pass is perfect.
Oh, no.
And Favola cannot do a thing wrong.
Now, we've got to get to the record books, because this is a registered Ansett Cup match.
Yep.
Well, I wouldn't know, so.
Well, I reckon he's going to set some sort of a record.
Well, it's pretty hard to kick, you know, double figures or approaching a dozen under lights.
And it's a shortened game.
It is, 17 and a half minutes plus time on. This for number 11. And he's drilled it. You want me to go to the book, don't you?
Well,
I'm in holiday mode.
Well, whether it's New Year's Eve or not, it is a record.
Oh, okay.
Well, I've just got out of holiday mode. I've gone for the book, and the night record is 10 goals. So Favola, with that goal, has just broken the record in the Ansett Cup, or night football.
Well, the tip would be that he's going to shatter it, because we've got 16 minutes left for him to add to it.
Ball's at the wrong end just at the minute. Rocker concedes some ground. Good kick.
Well done. Unselfish.
Yes, well, Paul Williams, who we've become accustomed to the ability of Paul Williams when he gets the football, and he will shoot from about 40 metres, maybe a little closer, so the distance not a problem. We've had some fairly blustery conditions prevailing, but the players have done very well. I mean, there was a lot of publicity about how the respective teams would go in their build up to this match, but I would think that both camps would have been pretty happy with firstly the attitude, and secondly the execution, particularly on behalf of the Blues. 123 plays 23, so that's a 100-point margin in favour of Carlton. Can Williams cut it back to 94 with this kick? Paul Williams, plenty of distance, not the accuracy. Scores are behind. Yet to kick a goal in this game, Paul Williams. Sorry, Dipper, go.
Yeah, Robbo, just an update on Kuda. He's off the ground and actually in the rooms at the moment, having an early shower. Taking no risks with Kuda. He's got a bit of a cork thigh at the moment, so his mate at a disco tonight might have to hold him up.
And we saw Andrew McKay in his civvies as well. So he's gone to the showers early. Umpires found a free kick.
We might go right to the source. Ange, are you off out tonight after the game?
If you look at the scoreboard now, boys, it's now 99 points of difference. So
how ironic.
How ironic, eh?
This is Scott Freeborn squeezing a kick out of the action. McKee not able to take the mark. Buckley for Collingwood. Run down Krasiska. Spillage gathered there by DeUlio. His kick. No mark taken. O'Reilly couldn't gather the awkward ball. Buckley harassed there by Hamill. Ball spills out to O'Brien. O'Brien's left foot kick is pretty good, and making him earn the mark, Dean Rice. Now, can that be a... Krasiska not happy.
Should be.
But is that a 50-metre penalty?
No, it should be reversed.
Why? Because Krasiska had to go at Rice.
Exactly.
Well, what about Lane taking the mark and the other boy jumping in on top of him? When we knew that he was going to take the mark.
No, it was touch and go. I mean, he just, as you said, he earned it. So that was a free kick or a mark. Okay, fine. Then the other guy came in and intruded. He shouldn't have intruded.
Well, we have seen in the past that sort of interference. Now, look, that was a mark.
Okay, fine. Mark, free kick.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Ange's right. Like, the ball was there. I think Rice went to punch the ball away, just made him earn it. It wasn't that late, so I think Ange is right.
Fair enough.
Thanks, Ricky.
Go, mate.
Lane has recovered. These boys, look, don't worry, Cooter. Rick and Ange are going out together tonight, quite obviously. Dean Rice is quickly into the action after being free kicked a moment or so ago, and his short kick has been marked by Freeborn.
Up to half forward, big pack gathers. It comes down to the front. He's been great, Michael Mansfield.
Yes, he has.
Not the best of kicks. Knocked on by Favola unselfishly, looking for Franchina, but it spills out wider to Carlton. Back to Favola.
Oh, he's dropped the mark.
It's like a magnet. A dive and a mark by Buckley. Nathan Buckley, he's up to 5 marks and 16 possessions. Not his usual world-class rate. Back towards the cricket pitch area. Now a chance for Collingwood. Here's a go. That was Betheris. And a left foot shot for goal. Looks pretty good from the far side by Tarrant.
That's the sort of stuff I'm sure you'll see Chris Tarrant do in the future. He's a great mark overhead, good clean left footer, and he'll kick many goals in his career.
Great passage of play too.
Well, that's good stuff. It's a goal each, at least, in this last quarter. And so they'd want to finish competitively. Dipper pointed out the 99-point margin. Yeah, but it doesn't finish being 2,000.
Well, that's what footy's about. Smack in the nose, smack in the mouth, and it's Stephen O'Reilly being attended to by the medical staff for Carlton.
I don't think he'll be picking his nose tonight.
Been very impressed with Licuria's game for Collingwood in a team that has been beaten badly in general play and, of course, on the scoreboard. Paul Licuria, 15 kicks and 8 hand passes, and he's been having a dip, so to speak, from the start of the game and right up to the present time. Number 18, just going out of the screen on the left there. There he is, Paul Licuria. I'm sure he'd be pleased with his performance. Knocked forward there by Chatfield. Freeborn is onto it, but the umpires found a free kick and go to Collingwood, to their captain Nathan Buckley. See what you'd do for another, 1 or 2 Nathan Buckleys around the middle of the ground, even up at the forward line, to just kick the ball like that and give the forwards a chance to run onto the ball. Just quite straightforwardly knocked over for a boundary throw in by Chatfield. He'd be fairly pleased, one would think. 14 kicks and 6 hand passes to Adam Chatfield. Collingwood coach Michael Malthouse and Bradley Smith doing the ruck work. D'Ulio over the top was Patterson. Chatfield's quick kick has been marked by O'Brien.
Shane O'Brien, the number 1 pick in the pre-season draft, kicks down towards the forward pocket at full stretch. Patterson almost, but 2 of them collided. Neither of them came up with the ball. And Chatfield's kick out of defence, marked by O'Brien. Centering kick, chance here for Collingwood. Oh, juggled, mark drop. Carlton have it, away they go. Here goes Ronnie D'Ulio, run down by Orchard. Oh, that terrific stuff by Orchard. His kick onto Lane. Lane pokes it in short. Rocker leaves it. Tarrant can't mark. Again, Carlton have it. Rice out of defence. Hamill drops a mark. Smith in the middle of the ground. O'Brien punches on. That was good.
Great tackling.
Pretty good contest for a game that's nearly 100 points the difference. Nathan Buckley, raking kick, got it.
Is that a reasonable game? Very lucky to get out of that one though. Relentless pressure again.
You know, in a game of football, if you added up the metres that Nathan Buckley's kicks covered and compared them with anybody else in the game, he'd have to be nearly 10, maybe 15% more in cumulative metres in a game of footy. He just gets so much penetration with the kick.
Sure does.
Magnificent running shot at goal by Nathan Buckley, registers the Magpies' 5th goal, and right now they have outscored the Blues so far in this last term. Hamill's kick forward, gathered there by Nelson, his hand pass just a little astray. Buckley to Licuria, in turn under pressure was O'Brien to Williams, run down by Hamill, good tackle, that was a terrific tackle from behind by Hamill. And I think the players generally would appreciate that a definite, desperate tackle like that rewarded is what they're expecting from the umpires.
Yeah, I think the intensity of the game's actually gone up in this quarter. I think Collingwood's really come out, and as you said, Ange really want to have a win in this quarter.
That's right.
Franchina it was, kicking the ball forward. Mark taken by Houghton. Little hand pass to Julio. Rice straightens up. Shot at goal by Rice. Goes in towards, guess who? Brendan Favola! In 2 hours, he's become, just the household name, surely, as far as Carlton supporters are concerned anyway.
Well, know who you'll be going out with tonight, Ange. You'll be sticking right beside him.
Thanks, Ricky.
A new record and a chance to build on it even further. Well, he's in a bracket over the last week.
And looks non-fussed about it all, doesn't he?
Brett Lee and Brendan Favola.
Yeah.
What a week they've had at the MCG.
Well, he's shooting from a tight angle. He won't have any trouble with the distance, but a tight angle, there's no drama, is there? There's not a lot of drama for that young bloke, but he's kicked it behind.
What nationality is Favola, Ange? Is that same nationality as you?
No, he's not. He is part Italian. I know that for a fact. I don't know the other half.
He's done well there to keep the front posse away from Mel Michael, because Mel Michael's got a bit of agility and body strength.
That's right. Great disciplinary punch.
Pretty good effort there by Andrew Merrington from behind to force a boundary throw in. 124 plays 36, and Stephen O'Reilly with very much a patched up nose. We've got 10 minutes left in the Jetport Parking Millennium Challenge here at the MCG on New Year's Eve 1999.
Gee, mark that one down. There was a Buckley kick that went 20 metres and didn't go to a teammate. Ball's coming back for a Collingwood free kick. Now, can they win the last quarter here, the Pies? Well, not with efforts like that.
Well, actually, I was looking at Ben Kinnear. I think it was at half-time that he hadn't had much ground time, and surely, if you say the intensity looks as though it's lifted, he's come onto the ground and just maybe not right up with it at that stage.
Yeah, he hasn't much opportunity at senior level, but towards the end of last year he started to really dominate reserve level, and maybe he's just a little bit nervous. He's been sitting on the bench for a while. He's probably just a bit overawed by the occasion.
Terrific roving there by Franchina, and a patched up O'Reilly. Comes back to his position, started in the back line and went forward, and when Stephen Silvani is playing, those two could have a very interesting season, working at opposite ends of the ground and virtually interchangeable. It's Favola again!
Did he use his feet?
Favola!
He used his feet.
You've got to see a deft little touch from the ruck by Trent Houghton here. Get the ball down to lap, and if we go back far enough, this is a mark.
Now,
feet.
He's used his foot there. He did a Mark Taylor, did he? Flipped it up to himself. Well, please kick a goal after that effort. Stats now are 11 marks, 15 kicks.
No handballs?
11 goals.
How many handballs?
It's already a record. Now for a dozen.
Well done.
12 goals. You know, sometimes you come to a sporting event and you've hardly heard of some of the competitors, and you go away and a bloke is just a headliner. And so is Brendan Favola. What a night. 12 out of 19.
Might have come off Michael's own foot.
Well, was it a mark? Who cares? He's kicked the goal. It's like being given out in cricket and you dispute the umpire's decision. You have a look at a paper in the morning and you're out. So Brendan Favola continues his night out here at the MCG in the first night Ansett Cup game. It's a round 2 match between Carlton and Collingwood, and in it Brendan Favola has now kicked 12 goals. Mark Orchard kicks it forward. No mark to Prendergast. Nearly gathered by Johnson. Left it behind. Kinnear. Franchina putting some pressure on with Prendergast. And the ball will be thrown up at centre half forward for Collingwood. Looks as though nothing stands between the ball and Ben Johnson. Knocked forward for Collingwood to the front of their goal. Merrington is there, and it looks like Chris Tarrant trying to create something for Collingwood. Stephen Patterson, the bottom of the pack, and umpire Mark McKenzie will bounce. No, he will throw it up, as we've watched during the evening. Vance takes the knockdown, kicks it back out towards half forward. Nearly knocked forward there by Kinnear. Finishes with Tyson Lane. He loves to kick a goal.
Wonderful finish.
He's done just that. So Tyson Lane kicks his second goal, much to the delight of the Magpie supporters. And I don't think that guy barracks for Collingwood. He's a red-hot bulldog.
Yeah, one-eyed bulldog with a Collingwood scarf.
Yep.
Lovely.
Well, that just shows you how much people have missed footy. It's only been gone for, what, 3 months, but they missed their footy. So you'll turn up and watch anyway.
He used to play for Footscray too, Tyson Lane.
One of his favourite players right there. Back in the middle. And players working pretty hard. Number 19, Merrington, the cricketer. Ball comes down to Carlton. It was smothered off his boot and went the other way. Comes to O'Reilly.
Did a good job to get his kick away.
Was he outside of his foot? Yeah. So Stephen O'Reilly.
Phantom.
Favola caught in the middle of the pack this time. Mal Michael. Well, he's had a nightmare. You know, sometimes, remember Darren Buick kicked 9 goals the centenary match where they wore the old jumpers and the hoop socks and all that. And I reckon Sav Rocker once kicked about 11 on an Anzac Day game. But fancy on New Year's Eve a bloke kicking 12 goals. It'll just never ever be done again. I don't think we'll be playing on this night ever again for a start. O'Reilly marks right in front. Actually quite a bit of Geelong influence at Carlton, with O'Reilly having spent a couple of seasons there. Mansfield's come across. Hickmott and young Fletcher.
And Fletcher, that's right.
Had a couple of years at Geelong as well. Stephen O'Reilly.
Oh,
kicks it like a backman.
Thanks for that.
Well, maybe the interchange between Silvani and O'Reilly mightn't work perfectly.
Well, Tarkin Lockyer to kick it back in for the Magpies. 131 plays 42. He comes to the members' side, gets the ball well outside a defensive 50. Houghton was the player who knocked it clear for the Blues. At the fall of the ball, D'Ulio couldn't control it. Culpert in there, but he's beaten for it on this occasion by Johnson. The ball spills back to Merrington. Spotted a player wide, that was Hickmott. The ball not running for him. He's still there to knock it on though. Franchina dispossessed, Buckley nearly onto it. Williams, the ball pretty hot. Players not it. Now this is where, that's it, you got to knock it forward.
No, he did.
He did knock it clear, but maybe did he have a chance earlier? I'm blowed if I know, but the umpires must be as nonplussed as we are, surely, because this is the first time they've had the chance to experience this new law that is being experimented with in the Ansett Cup. Well, Favola's kick has been marked by Rice, right in front, only 15 metres out.
We actually went on a training camp a couple of weeks ago to Sorrento, and we actually took Mark McKenzie with us to explain us the new rules, and obviously hasn't worked well in our favour.
Well, I reckon actually that ball was knocked out, but it was just between the legs. Doesn't that count?
Well, Dean Rice has kicked the goal for the Blues. His first goal, and the Blues go marching on. They've kicked 20 goals, 17. It's a big score in a, well, what we'd consider to be a shortened game. 20 goals, 17, 37 scoring shots. to 12, and it's 137 plays 42.
A few backmen getting forward, having shots for goal. Rice successful. Here's a replay.
Okay, he might
was
have...
this ball knocked out? I reckon it was tunnel ball through the legs.
Might have taken too long, though. I mean...
When he took it back in, when his first action was to take it back in as a result of the other team.
He shouldn't have taken it back in.
Yeah,
He should have just...
Well, back to, 95 points the margin. It was 94 at three-quarter time. Williams. Prendergast off the ground. Awkward spinning ball. Williams after it again. Keeps it in pretty well. Anthony Rowe. Wish you hadn't, son. Carlton's free advantage. Nelson. Kick by Nelson. From half-back up towards the centre. Collingwood badly want a crummer here. Oh, Rice, beautifully done. That was absolutely sensational. Sexton off the left. Richardson did pretty well. And Collingwood working it out. Lacuria had a lot of the ball for Collingwood tonight. He kicked it nowhere though, straight to the opposition. Michael Mansfield gets back to take the mark. Good battle between Williams and Mansfield. Points to Mansfield.
16 possessions to Mansfield, 13 to Williams, and Paul Williams is yet to kick a goal, so you would think Michael Mansfield would be pretty happy with that. Franchina starting to get a few possessions in this last term. I think he was suspended last year and missed a chance to play in the finals, Ange, at the end of the year. Anthony Franchina.
That was
Hamill, was it?
Yes.
Well, he's going to get it again, and he's got it back, Franchina, so a couple of kicks in the space of about 25 seconds. Goes short.
As a matter of fact, you are correct.
Finds Freeborn.
Yeah, Hamill got suspended.
Hamill was suspended.
And then
came back
appealed and did play in the grand final.
That's right, and so did Franchina.
Oh, good kick, good mark taken there by Buckley. 3 minutes left in the game. Buckley across the full back line. Just sharing it here with Lacuria. Onto that trusty left foot. Kicks towards half forward. The mark is taken by Rocker. And our guest commentator, Ange Christou, believes that there might have been a little...
Well, there were hands on the back.
Little touch-up.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Held his ground, that's all he did.
Tell you
Okay.
what, I don't think...
Oh, no. Okay.
I think you'd see Jason Dunstall saying, there's there, that's all right. Anthony Rocker from about 45, maybe a little further. He's going to have to kick it 50 metres plus. It's a lovely kick by Anthony Rocker, but once again, left lamenting, off to the left. So Anthony Rocker yet to kick a goal. For Collingwood, their 6 goals have come from Buckley 2, Tyson Lane 2, Tarrant 1 and Orchard 1. And the big scoreline for the Blues, led grandly by Brendan Favola.
So this last quarter, absolutely even. Still 94 points the difference. That was well kicked down the line. Reece Shaw hasn't seen too much of the action tonight. Just 2 possessions, and he's given it straight away.
Do you think they'll give the ball to Favola?
Well, you might as well kick 13 on a New Year's Eve rather than just the measly 12.
But as a New Year's present, I'm pretty sure they'd give it to him.
Oh, Ronnie! Couldn't quite hang on to it, but he's got it again, DiIulio. High ball to centre half forward. Well, it's Carlton players everywhere. Nelson, he looks for Favola. One out with Michael. Not quite, he's still in the chop though. Michael takes it away. Well done by Mal Michael. Wide to Shaw. Son of Ray Shaw, wearing the number 22 of Tony Shaw. To O'Brien. Over the top. That was good. Lock of the hand pass out to Shaw. He's got the pace, and here it is. Pace like his father and uncle never had. Centering ball, disappointing finish.
Well, Franchina, I mentioned just a few moments ago, he got that hand pass away to Mansfield. Good pick up there by Merrington, and the ball finishes with Freeborn. The kick goes towards the half-forward area. O'Reilly on this occasion beaten for it by Mark Richardson. away to Licuria, in towards the centre of the ground, taken by Bathiris. Less than a minute left in the game, so a big win coming up for the Blues. That's Bathiris still on screen. Buckley gathers the ball, gives the hand pass away. Chance for O'Brien, gets past Freeborn and then kicks in towards half forward. Oh, great mark. Terrific mark taken by Chris Tarrant, right in front of goal, about 35, maybe 40 metres out. Kicked a goal earlier in this term, a big one from about 50. So the chance for Chris Tarrant to kick his second goal.
Well, this is to win the quarter, so Mick Malthouse has got something to take out of the game.
Something to take. It hasn't been a lot of positives tonight, but surely win the last quarter is something.
Last kick of the game. Last kick of the century. A goal to Chris Tarrant. But the night belongs to Brendan Favola, who kicked a bagful for the Blues in their big win over Collingwood. Carlton, 20 goals, 17, defeated Collingwood 7-7.
And the bagful was 12 goals too. Nathan Buckley tried his heart out for the Pies. The team which won the Wooden Spoon in '99 finishes the year and the century with a disappointing loss to their arch rivals. Well played, Carlton. Thanks, Ange. Thanks, Rick. Happy New Year, everyone. Hope you enjoyed it. Be back with us next year with more.